We are live. Welcome, folks, to a Swapcast with Talking Mopars and Matt Monroe of Big Block's Garage. We decided to jump on here and we just did our paranormal show. For those of you that don't know, we have a paranormal live stream podcast that we do every Saturday night at 7 p.m. Pacific. And it's always a good time. And you know what? We've been doing a little tossing back some bottles and thought we'd do another podcast. So here we are.
I'm in.
So what the hell's up, Matt? What's up with the swept line?
Old Swepty
Yeah.
Chief. Man, right now it's I'm trying to the natural order of things. You understand. I'm trying to rearrange the garage a little bit, get a little bit more set up. Because I need to finish up that Crown Vic swap, and I bit the bullet and went ahead and ordered the kit from Ritchie Suspension.
Okay.
And it comes with everything and very detailed instructions on how to get it all put in. 90% of the work's already done. The only thing that went wrong was the gentleman that did the work before I got the truck used the wrong wheelbase measurement. Instead of just measuring and centering up the wheels, he just went off wheelbase measurement.
Okay.
He looked up the wrong wheelbase, so the wheels are too far forward. Now, I could go ahead and mount as is, but the thing of it is I don't like the look. They're too far forward. I want them centered up in the fender well.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
Because natural progression of this is right now, let's just get it on the road and get it driving. But I want to say by next year, I want to have it on the ground. Because I'm a huge fan of long beds, and I'm a huge fan of long beds being on the ground. It's a great, clean look. I don't need a muscle truck. I'm fine with a cruising truck, and the long bed's where it's at for that.
Yeah. No, I like the long beds. I suppose it really depends on the particular truck because I've seen short beds where I'm like, oh yeah, that's it, and then I've seen long beds where I'm like, oh yeah, that's sweet.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with short beds, but I mean, you get a lot of short bed guys like, oh, it's a long bed. Why didn't you shorten it? First of all, I didn't say, oh, it's a short bed. You can't do shit with it.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's definitely debate, but I mean, I feel like long bed guys are a lot more chill than short bed guys.
Yeah, I think it all depends on your taste. Like I've always liked the way that short beds look, especially in the newer trucks. Like all my newer trucks, I always buy short beds. But then I need to haul some shit and it hangs out 3 feet. I'm like,
yeah,
damn it.
Yeah.
That's why I'll never put a toolbox in a short bed. But the long beds definitely, they have to have the right look.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know.
The 60 trucks were some of the best long beds.
Yeah. I think they look right when they're slammed.
And Alex, now I did say I have no problem with short beds. I think they're good looking trucks. They're great trucks. What I get fired up about is when the short bed guys try to come at you for having a long bed. That's when I get fired up and fire some shit back. But I mean, I'm all about. Chris can attest to this. I have such a wide open palette for cars. If it's cool and you put your time and love into it, rock on. I'm gonna be so excited to talk about it with you.
Absolutely. I miss my truck every fucking day. I miss the Mr. Norm truck. Sometimes I get a little bit I start resenting the Roadrunner, to be honest. I go out there, I work on it, and it's fun. I have a good time, but I'm like, damn it, I wouldn't be doing this right. I'd be instead of sitting in the garage working on the thing, hoping to get it ready for Matt's, I'd be cruising the Mr. Norm truck going, man, I can't wait for Matt's to cruise this down the strip. So I resent it. I'm actually going to Pete, his memorial service is tomorrow. And for those of you that don't know, Pete is the guy that I traded the Mr. Norm truck to for the Roadrunner. His memorial service isn't traditional. It's a car show at his house featuring all of his awesome cars.
That is pretty dope.
Of course, the Mr. Norm truck. So I'm going to get to see it for the first time in months. So it'll be nice to see the truck again, talk to the kid, because I'm not quite sure what's going to happen with the truck, to be honest. Gosh, I would love to get it back. If he's going to sell it, I'd like to know how much he wants for it, because I'm going to try to buy it back. But we'll see how that goes. I miss that truck so much, and I would hate for it to go to anybody else because I feel like it's mine still.
I mean, and I get that. Like, man, there's been some stuff I've let go, and I'm just like, I regret that. Like there was a certain charger I had my hands on for a very short time,
Yeah.
and I let it go. And I'm not upset about who I let it go to. It's going to end up being a project with a father and son, and
Yeah.
that's exciting. It's just I really regret letting that go.
Yeah, it's for me, it was tough because I was like, man,
As being someone that saw the behind the scenes on you getting your hands on that truck,
yeah.
I completely get it. You put a lot of effort into getting your hands back on that truck.
Yeah, I sacrificed everything that I had at the time to get myself in a position where I could make a move on it, and I got it. I got my dream truck, the truck that I fell in love with years before. I
Yep.
got it, and then testing the waters to see what I could get. This guy comes to me with this awesome, this awesome Roadrunner, and I see the potential in it, and I think the car's badass. And it was I'll admit it was a shotgun decision. I was like, wow, this is a move that I should make. And after I did it, I don't have any. It's weird because I don't have any regrets of getting the Roadrunner. I have regrets that I had to let go of something I love so much to have it. So now I'm like, man, I don't know.
I understand that, but you also understand you're sitting doing a show with probably that car's number one fan.
Yeah, yeah. It's interesting because as the Motley Crew of Mopars, you got you with a Plymouth Duster and a
Yep.
Dodge truck.
Yep.
Blake has a Plymouth Cuda and a Dodge truck.
Yep.
And I have a Plymouth Roadrunner and no Dodge truck, so I'm feeling a little naked right now.
We gotta fix that, man. We'll find you. We'll find you
Yeah,
something.
yeah,
We'll find you
yeah.
something.
There's definitely some possibilities. So we'll see what happens. Should we open this chat up? Should we post a link and see if anybody wants to join us, or should we stay just you and me, Matt? What do you
I
feel?
mean, what do you want to do,
What do you
buddy?
feel? I don't know. We'll see if anybody. I'm going to post the link in the chat. And if anybody wants to join us, feel free to jump on. We're probably going to talk
I
here
will
in a
go
little
ahead and
bit.
say tonight's general discussion brought to us by Jack Daniel's Triple Mash.
Yeah. I already killed the bottle of Buffalo Trace I had. So now I'm just working on some beers, just having a good time. But I would like to talk a little bit about Matt's coming up. Muscle Cars at the Strip 2023.
My first time in Vegas, and the first time in 2 years we'd have the Motley Crew together.
Yeah. It'll be all of us. You, me, Blake, Johnny. We're all going to be together and a bunch of our friends. Holy
I
shit.
still don't think Johnny realizes I'm coming.
Really?
I don't know. I haven't really talked to him about it.
No.
But I don't think he realizes I'm coming.
Yeah. Where's Johnny Mopar? Where's Johnny
Johnny,
Mopar?
Johnny.
Somebody tell Johnny Mopar to get his ass in here. I sent a message to Blake. I don't know if he's probably asleep or something. Who knows?
Probably, man. He's a busy dude.
He's a busy dude, works hard.
That guy works hard.
I guess we can let me drop a couple plugs really quick. One, our friend Blake from Sublime Technologies. If you need any wiring or anything like that for your modern Hemi swap project, go visit DIYHemi.com. Blake has rebranded as Sublime Technologies and is cranking out some awesome parts. He's a small business, and I'm an advocate for small businesses in the automotive industry.
Oh, for sure.
So support the small guys. You know what I mean? And the other shout out I want to give to is Pass and Performance, the 4-speed specialist. They're helping me out with the transmission in my car. So hopefully we can get that thing down to Muscle Cars at the Strip. Some people have asked me the progress the car's made so far. So far, I'm still working on the wiring. I got to get this dash out. It's almost out. I just need to. I've got everything unhooked. I've got the dash unbolted, and it's basically just sitting there. My dad came over to help me today, and we didn't get far enough, and I had to do the paranormal podcast. So I was like, "All right, Pops, we'll continue this another day." But it's ready. It's pretty much ready to come out. There's a couple things holding it, and I got to figure out. I don't know if it's. I pulled all the heater box stuff off. I'm trying to keep most of the wiring intact so that when I pull it out, I can lay it on my bench and then pull out my new wiring harness and go plug by plug and make sure everything is nice. So that's where I'm at on that. Once the wiring is done under the dash, I can wire the engine bay, throw a battery in it. I'm probably going to try to crank it and run it off of a gas can. I do have the fuel tank is new. Fuel sending unit is new. It's getting installed. I finally have everything I need to put that in. So once that's done, then I need to order. I actually should order that shit tonight. I need to order fuel lines, brake lines. I need to order a master cylinder, a booster, and I need to figure out what I'm going to do with these brakes. These brakes look trashed, so I'm going to have to get a new brake kit for it.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at on it.
It's not a bad place to be.
No,
It's a comfortable position, you know?
I'll feel good if I can start it. Once it runs, and I know it runs, and I'm pretty confident it will run, then it's all on. Hopefully, Jamie Passon can get my transmission done and back to me with enough time to test the car on the street. Because I need to drive it to, or at least pull it out of the garage, running and driving, drive it onto the trailer, and take it to the interior guy who's going to do the headliner, and then the glass guy next door who's going to do the front and rear glass. So once that's done, then the car is pretty much, I'm taking it to Vegas. I do have a box full of the window regulator stuff, and I was looking at it and I was like, why can't it be all together? Now I got to go through and figure out. It's a puzzle piece, and I've never put one of these cars together like this, so it's all new to me.
Man, I'm proud of you. It's a big, daunting task. Like, it's easy to take these things apart, but when you start putting stuff back together, that's the daunting part.
Especially when you didn't take it apart in the first place.
Exactly.
Like, shit. I'm a really strategic, methodical person when it comes to taking shit apart. The Ziploc bags all marked. I know where every bolt goes. I know where every nut goes. I keep perfect catalog of everything.
Yeah.
So far, so good. I've run into a couple hiccups. It's just one of those things, man. It's like, fuck, why can't anything ever just be simple? You know what I mean? There's always one thing that's just being a pain in the ass. But
man, if it was easy, everybody would do it. But I mean, I know
100%.
a lot of folks do. I know a lot of folks do the car hobby and car culture. But I mean, if it was easy, everybody would do it, and it would just be real boring because it'd be a lot of C10s and Chevy stuff.
Yeah.
I can't say too much against those folks, considering I have a 63 sitting in the driveway as well.
No, it's going to be cool. Regardless of what happens, I'm going to throw it on the trailer and take it down to Muscle Cars at the Strip. Whether I succeed in the challenge, which is having a running and driving project car or not, it remains to be seen. But I feel like people want to see the car, so I'll bring it down there. And I am so pissed that there is a back order on interior. Upholstery is on back order from Legendary. Last time I called was 33 weeks out.
Oh my God.
That was not enough time. So I did what a lot of people told me not to, and I went with PUI. And I got the front covers. They didn't send me the listing wire, so I've been back and forth with the distributor I bought the shit from, and for some reason they can't get me listing wire. So I just went to Home Depot and I bought some nice wire that I think will work. I'll just snip it to the length I need so that I can use the hog rings to hog ring it to the seat frame.
Yeah.
But that's just the front seats because I still haven't received my rear seat cover. And when I asked them about it, they're like, well, it's not in production yet. And I was like, get that shit in production. What the fuck? So I'm trying not to be a dick about it. But at the same time, I'm like, your website indicated that it was in stock. And now I find out that you guys make it to order. So I'm like, how far out are we? And they can't answer me. So I'm like, thankfully, the back seats are covered with the original material. Yeah. They're just dirty, so I can clean them up. There's a couple rips and tears, but I think I can patch it up to make it at least look presentable. But once the dash is out of the car, there's a couple spots on the floor I'd like to touch up, but it's all getting covered with sound deadening material from Killmat. I'm going to use Killmat on the floor, parts of the roof, and then parts of the sail panels in the back.
There you go.
To deaden some of the sound. I really don't like the old the jute padding they use, that shit that the mice love. I hate that shit. I hate it.
No, man. The new sound deadening stuff's where it's at.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we just gotta. I wish I could get over there and help you, but clearly, you're a little ways away.
Yeah. I think about that all the time. Like, man, if only all my Mopar friends were close. Like, we could have this car knocked out in 2 weekends. It would be done.
I mean, we had that 3-car garage house just 2 doors away.
I know. Blame my wife for that.
Is she in here?
No, probably not. But yeah, it's I keep seeing in this chat something about a 71 Cuda being derbied.
Hey Dutch, when you're done with it, can I just come get it?
Yeah. Man, that sounds like fun. So who do we got in the chat tonight? Let's see here.
We got
Dutch guys. Paulie,
City Madness,
Alex, Ruben from Muscle City Madness, David, Paulie, Peckerwood. Nice.
Nobody want to get in here? Nobody wants to step in with us?
Frank Clayton says, "Does anyone know where I can find a set of 1970 Roadrunner bucket seats?" I mean, eBay.
Ooh. eBay is a great tool.
You got to pay that eBay tax, though. That's the only problem.
Bro,
People put shit on eBay. Spencer's in the house. What's up, Spencer?
I give two shits about the eBay tax. If it's something I need it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, honestly, it's not like there's Mopar yards just sitting around anymore.
eBay is my like I also ordered visors because I went through all the boxes. I don't have any sun visors. So I was like, oh shit. So I got sun visors from PUI, and those were also waiting to be in production, and they weren't even in production yet. So I just went on eBay and found some for cheaper.
There you go.
That's what I did there. What's up, Joe's Mopar Mess? We have a guest in the house, David. David's been on the show a long time ago, and he has an awesome duster project that he's got going on. What's up, David? Long time no chat.
Yeah, it's been over a year.
What's up,
Matt?
Yeah, man.
No, you came on live. We did not too long ago.
Yeah, I did when you and Blake had.
That's right. It was my show. Ha.
Yep. Yes.
How's the project coming along, man?
It's going good. I decide I'm gonna get it done by August.
Awesome.
So I'm in the doing the body and paint work right now. So I rehung the doors, put the front fenders on today. I actually put the hood on. Got the hinge, the hood pins. I put hood pins on it, so I got those in fitted. And then so my grill, I had a shark tooth grill that I bought from a guy a couple of years ago. I pulled it out of the box. It's garbage. It's all cracked and breaking apart. So I'm gonna custom make a grill.
Awesome.
Oh man, I ordered Classic Industries.
Yeah.
Man, if you catch them at the right time on a good sale, like they have sales all the time.
Yeah.
I love the one I got from them. It is immaculate.
Yeah, I missed PG Classics just had a 20% off for Valentine's Day, and there was 2 more things I needed to order from them, and I missed it. That's kind of like, oh man. So anyway,
I have a hard time feeling bad for you since you're like within striking distance of a summit.
Yeah, it's an hour and a half now instead of 10 minutes because I moved
Still,
up north.
It's so far away from me.
I know. It's like it's a day trip down there.
That place looks awesome. I would love to go to Summit and see what it looks like on the inside. It looks cool.
It's like a big candy store. I mean,
yeah.
They got displays of. It's like the old. Gosh, I don't know if you're. What was that? What's that hot rod shop that they used to have? This is back in the.
Well, like a Super Shops or something.
Super Shops, exactly. Except way bigger.
Okay.
Super Shops on steroids. I mean, they got like. Blocks and heads and
God, I can dig it.
And wiring harnesses and carburetors and EFI injection setups and stuff all set up, suspension parts, everything. And then they've got, of course, they have the stocking warehouse there, so pretty much you can get everything.
That's awesome.
I will say this: I'm so close. I am close enough to that one that I get stuff next day sometimes if I order from Summit.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's nice.
Yeah.
That is nice. Real quick, let's give a shout out to Joe's Mopar Mess. He got his Charger on the road. It was a project. He got it on the road.
Oh,
that's
hell
awesome.
yeah.
And that's got to feel good. I know Johnny Mopar just posted a little video of driving his Charger, and the thing sounds bitchin'. I was like, oh, man.
I could easily be kidnapped by anything that had a good exhaust note. Like, gosh. I'm not going to lie. You don't need candy for me. You just have a good exhaust note.
Yeah, that's awesome. That kind of stuff motivates me. Like, all right, let's get this thing on the road. You know, it's funny to be so close yet kind of so far away. You know, and knowing that you only have I have less than a month to get this car ready, and I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but we'll see.
I still gotta go get that updated advanced license so I can get on the plane.
Oh shit! I forgot you need those.
Yeah.
It's like Chris, so you're talking about, you know, when you didn't take it apart, but you got to put it together. And it's the same thing when I bought my project. I mean, it's completely blown apart.
Yeah.
I had boxes of parts, you know, and I went through everything and bagged stuff up. But I couldn't bag it for what it went to. I could bag it up by size.
Yeah.
And I'm still I was digging through a bag of stuff today. I'm looking for a 1/4 20 hex head with washer head screw on, bolt. And it's like, okay, so I dig through my little tote. Yeah, here they are. Dump them out. Run it through the wire wheel. Stick it
Nice.
in. So
What's been the hardest part of that project so far, David?
I think the hardest part of my project is that Hemi swap. And
Yeah.
so a couple things I'm struggling with is throttle. I've got the old stock throttle, but
Mm-hmm.
there is no linkage that you can get that attaches the old stock linkage to the new position of where the throttle body is. Because they got an LS style, um, throttle body. I want cable throttle. It's not a drive-by-wire. So,
Do you have a bell crank off of one of the newer, or one of the what is it, 03 to whatever trucks?
No, I don't. I don't have the bell crank. Number one, I'm running a manual transmission.
Okay.
So I don't have that kick down I don't need that kick down or anything.
Okay.
So
Have you talked to Blake? He might be able to help you out because
I was thinking about I need to reach out to Blake and see what he suggests.
yeah, because his
I mean-
CUDA is a 4-speed too.
I
And he's
guarantee
got
you
the
he'd be
570.
rattling off something right now
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
already.
Uh-oh. I disappeared. There I am. I know that Blake. Oh yeah, dude. No. So, yeah, I've got that, and I still got to do my clutch linkage. So I think I probably bought the wrong fork for it, and so it doesn't seem to fit real well onto
man.
But other than that, it's just buy parts, buy interior. It didn't have an interior in it. So it's just getting everything rounded up and all the bits and pieces and screws and all that, and having it here. I'm not ready to put it in. I'm probably months away from putting it in, but I want to have it on hand because some of this stuff. I just now got my rear tray package that I ordered in December.
Oh wow.
So,
Man.
and then my rear upholstery seat kit, I ordered also that in December, and it's supposed to be here Monday. So
That's good.
Which
Well, who'd
thing
you
is,
order
I
from?
ordered my seat covers.
I've spread the love between a bunch of people. PG Classics was one.
Okay.
Classic Industries, Vans, Auto Supply.
I do love me
Is it
some
Vans?
Vans. I do love me some Vans.
They have a great website.
They
Just lots of goodies. I've got stuff from Herb's Parts, Year One, Dante's, Dr. Diff. Let's see, who else? Brewers. So, yeah,
Right.
I've kind of spread the love between everybody out there. So, and
Yeah.
a few eBay suppliers.
I definitely feel that because like I've been trying to keep all the stuff that I have just so that I can keep track of where I got the parts, how much I spent, because I try to keep a good tally on what I have going, and it seems like it's just a lot.
Yeah, I have my stack of receipts. I haven't
Oh yeah.
tallied them up yet, but
Nor should you ever.
Yeah.
yeah. See if I was right on my budget when I first started this project. So
Yeah, man. These project cars, dude, they get out of hand really quick.
yeah, you
I-
have to. Yeah, you gotta dedicate some time to it.
Oh yeah, for sure. I just
So,
went through, I think I said it on one of the podcasts recently. I just went through all the boxes and I found out, okay, so I'm missing a bunch of stuff. So like the boxes that were included with the car when Pete got it, a lot of the parts didn't even go to the car. Some spare parts that were kind of confusing to me at first because I was assuming that everything was just off of the car.
Yeah.
So I'm going through and I'm like, I already have this shit. So I'm like, oh no. So it got to the point where I was like, all right, I had to write down everything I needed for the car still.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, this is a pretty big list. And I started adding it up. I think my first list of stuff was about $6,000 worth of stuff, and it wasn't everything that I absolutely needed. So I was like, how do I have a car that's almost put together? I still need $6,000 versus little stuff. The little stuff adds up so quick.
It does.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
$100 here, $90 here, $200 here. It's like, Jesus.
Well,
it's crazy.
yeah, even the 25, the under $100 stuff that you need, all the little, like you said, the little stuff. I mean, it's just like you tally it up and go like, holy crap.
Yeah.
The last batch I bought was $1,500.
Gosh.
And it was just knobs. I decided that that I was, instead of trying to have stuff re-chromed, chroming is super expensive.
Yeah.
I was going to have the bumpers re-chromed. They're straight. I mean, they're straight, but I can go buy 2 new bumpers, repops, for the price of getting 1 bumper chromed.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
So wild.
Yeah.
Then I was thinking about, well, what about, you probably got a chrome wrap. Maybe I'll take it in and have someone do a chrome wrap on or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know about the chrome wrap. I think they have something like that. I'm pretty sure they do have a chrome wrap, actually.
Yeah.
Cowboy guitar guy, 3 Swepties. I like where your head's at. I will say this. I have to brag. I came up, thanks to our good friend Bud Mack, I came up with local Swepty tailgates for my 69. And they're not horrible. I mean, they fit the truck. One was blue, one was orange. I went with put the blue one on. For everybody that doesn't know, I have a red and white truck, but it's patinaed like crazy, and the blue tailgate just adds to the fun there. But I scored them both. For $150.
Nice.
Bud hooked you up with that.
Bud, he caught the comment. He caught the posting of one for sale, and he tagged me in it.
Nice. Good job, Bud.
Because I know. I mean, he was like, I sent him a big shout out in his DM. So I was like, thank you.
I miss that guy. Yeah. He hasn't been on the podcast in a minute. I need to find out what he's doing.
Good. He's a good dude, man.
He is, and he knows he knows his stuff.
He's been busy on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
he sure has.
He's been posting a lot of it on there. So
I'm hoping to finally meet him in person when I go to Muscle Cars or the Muscle Car and Corvette Nationals in November. That'll be a good show.
Show of hands, since we're talking about Matt so much. Show of hands, who's planning on going to Mo Party and hanging out with us?
Oh, I am.
There we
go.
I'm planning on driving the car.
Bro.
Oh, awesome.
You gotta take me for a ride.
So yeah, that's what I plan on having that done by end of August, and that gives me end of September, because that's when that is.
Shoot,
so,
yeah.
If I can get the body and paint done by the end of May, that gives me 3 months to put that car together, and I don't think it would take 3 months to put interior in and windows and trim and everything. So
we make ourselves super easy to find when we're there.
Yeah.
Chris, if everything goes right, since I went ahead and ordered that kit, we might be road tripping over in Chief.
That'd be awesome, dude. I'd love that.
Instead of going down and stealing low buck from Blake for a weekend.
Yeah, we were talking about going down to Louisiana and stealing the low buck Hemi truck from Blake from Sublime Technologies and driving that up, and while he takes his CUDA. But we'll see what happens. Dutch Guys is going to be there. Cool.
Oh shoot, yeah. Dutch, while you're on your way there, just bring that smashed up 71 CUDA with you. I'll just take it off your hands. Don't you worry.
Oh man.
Do you know how much shit I would catch if I showed up with that?
Oh yeah, it's this year's going to be good for events. I feel like COVID is pretty behind us, so I think the events are just going to have more attendance.
Well, I mean, I'm finally branching out a little bit. I was only hitting Mo Party.
Yeah.
I'm branching out, hitting Vegas with us.
I'm so glad you're going, dude. There's gonna be so many people. I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, even if nobody but our friends show up, like, dude, obviously I don't want that. But
yeah,
my wife was like, "Why are your work trips so much more fun than mine?" I was like, "Because I have a real fun side job."
No, it's a blast. It's gonna be crazy. when I heard that Dodge was doing the Roadkill Nights last call reveal the next day, I was like, how can they not, in some way, shape, or form, participate in muscle cars at the strip? And as it turns out, it sounds like there's going to be some filming going on with Roadkill and stuff. So it's going to be a good time.
That'll be fun.
It's gonna be a good time, for sure. Like I'm super excited. You can ask Chris. I love branching out and meeting new folks.
Yeah.
I feel like I've met so many great people since starting my podcast. Like Chris can attest. I reached out to him for some advice when I was starting my show. Before we weren't even friends. I just knew he had his show. I was a listener, and I was just reaching out to get some tips and everything. And look at us now. Like, what has it been, 3 years now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Time flies when you're having fun.
Yep. Matt worked his way in. Matt worked his way in. No, I think I vaguely remember you reaching out to me privately. I mean, been like, oh yeah, he sent a listener story in. Matt was one of the, like, I had a couple handfuls of listener stories in the beginning, and Matt was one of them. So I was like, oh yeah, I remember. So it's weird when you meet somebody that listens to the show and has participated in the way that he did, and then to develop this friendship and hang out. It was really cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really happy that I started the podcast, because without me, none of this would be possible. No, I'm kidding.
Look, we already know whose porch is going to be hanging up in headquarters of the guy that started it all.
No, it's just, it's so much fun. That. Awesome people in this community. I love it.
It's fantastic, folks. And I mean, like I said, I love all cars. I mean, I have a 63 C10 long bed, the 71 Duster, 86, 89 Daytona, then the 69 D100. So I have some sad news for you, Chris.
Oh God, what?
You know what? No, it's not sad news. I will give you my Daytona.
Why aren't you doing anything with it?
Because I made a deal with the wife, who hates the Daytona, to complete my collection of long beds from the 60s.
I
have to give up the Daytona so I can get my Ford.
Oh yeah, sorry. Matt loves old trucks. So
old trucks are my main thing. I think the 60s era had the best looking trucks from all three companies, and I think it'd just be really great to have the
trifecta.
The trifecta, the big three. All in long bed, all slammed, all with modern drivetrains.
So what year of Ford?
Just anyone from the
anyone from the 60s?
As long as it's from the 60s.
Yeah. I had my uncle had a 65 Ford pickup.
There you go.
And then it was turned in. It was their shop truck, so it was called Big Red.
God, I love it.
4-speed manual transmission on it. So
yeah.
that was a fun truck to drive.
Well, see, like my C10 is it's actually where the Big Block name came from. Somebody made a fat joke about me. Because somebody goes, because I Big Block swapped it right off the bat, and someone goes, well, you had the Big Block in yet? And some dude goes, yeah, when he sits in it. And so I ran with it. And was amazed that nobody had ever taken Big Block's garage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like nowhere on social media or anything. So I took it. It's now I have it, locked down.
You are Big Block.
I am Big Block. But
Big Block.
But for fuel mileage, it's my wife's truck. For fuel mileage and everything, and just reliability, because Big Block parts aren't cheap anymore. If they ever were. It's going to get an LS. I hate to say it, but it's going to get an LS. And then the Chief's getting a Hemi. My D100, I call him Chief. He's getting a Hemi. And then
Chris, when you get the Ford, are you going to put a Coyote in it or what?
That's what I was thinking. Coyote.
Fuck, man. I'm going to try to, but they're expensive. But I mean, but you know what they got that could help me get my Big Block name kept? They got that 7.3 gas motor that's supposed to fit in everything.
With the Godzilla? Is that what that?
Yeah. I mean, I might spend the money and go push rod instead of like 12,000 cams.
Yeah, cams and timing chains.
And cam phasers that you better hope to God you don't get out of whack when you're doing something.
Yeah.
I'm just such a Mopar guy that I could buy another car from another manufacturer, but the first thing that is going to go through my head is, all right, what's it take to get a Hemi in this thing?
And it's not a bad way to be. Like, I mean, in all honesty, I might even Hemi swap the Ford just for kicks and giggles. But I mean,
Oh.
it wouldn't fit what I'd have going, you know?
There's one car that people notoriously hate me for wanting, and it's only because it was ingrained in my head at a young age. There was somebody in Seattle that drove around the neighborhood in a black 1980 to 1982 Corvette, which are like notoriously known as some of the worst Corvettes ever made, with the Crossfire 350s, just piles of shit. But to me as a kid, it was black and it looked just like the Batmobile, and I've wanted one ever since. And now, knowing that they're piles of crap, I would just want one just so I could Hemi swap it.
I mean, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, it's just I mean, Chief will probably always be my daily. For a long time, unless I buy another modern Mopar or something. But I mean, I want to have, yeah, whatever. Didn't hear nobody complaining when they were building the bombers for World War II, but I don't know nothing about that. But I mean, it's always been something in the back of my mind from when my father-in-law gave us the C10 for our wedding gift. I want a truck from each of the big three. I'd really never thought I'd come up with a Dodge I really liked, truck wise, because I mean, you saw like around here, you see the Gen 1s and Gen 2s all over the place, and then I stumbled across Chief, and because I mean, you didn't see swept lines around here. You don't see swept lines hardly come up for sale hardly.
That's so crazy.
I stumbled across it, and it was actually a buddy of mine that had it. Wow. And I was like, man, what do you want for it? And he goes, I'll take my bottom dollar for you. He goes, I know you do something cool.
That's so cool. Why have you talked to Blake about just giving him the Daytona? I don't know how I'm going to get it home. Might be easier to get that thing to Blake.
We've talked about it. I mean, I might just give it to Blake because that's why I bought the car, was to go send it to Blake. And then he said he wouldn't have time to do something with it, so I kept it.
Bullshit. He's got time.
Yeah, he just didn't want it either.
Yeah. No, that Daytona, it's got the great thing about them is that like they're throwaway cars to most people, so they're perfect for if you want to butcher it with a new Hemi.
Try finding an engine for one.
It's definitely tough. The way I do it is the last one that I found, and it was actually not even me, it was my dad. He found some website that does a search of all wrecking yards where they have their inventories listed. Yeah. And he found this 2.2 Chrysler turbo engine on the other side of the state, so we went and picked it up. And it looks pretty damn good. The guy was laughing. He's like, I never thought anybody would buy this, because you go to his wrecking yard and he's got one of those like outdoor like metal like buildings.
Yeah,
and it's just stock. Yeah, pole barn, and it's just stocked with engines. And he pulls this thing down. He's like, I think I've had this thing since like 1989, and nobody bought it, and it looked clean. And he's like, I never thought I'd sell this. Nobody ever comes looking for this kind of stuff. And
I mean, the problem with my Daytona was it was a complete car, and it was one of the Turbo Zs. So, but I mean, it had. Look, man, Joe, you're about to hurt my feelings, Joe. But I mean, it was a clean car, and it had power seats, power windows, everything was there. Had the intercooler, the turbo, everything, transmission, everything. No engine.
Wow. Well, there you go. Hey, Dutch guy's has
$250 up each.
$250, dude. Hey.
Wow.
Dutch, bring them to Mo Party, and we can load them in the back of Chief.
Ooh, okay. You know what? Yep, I'll save up. I'll bring $250. I'm gonna piss my wife off because I'm gonna put that little Daytona on the road.
Dude, that would be a great little daily, dude.
Front wheel drive, little
great
turbo.
On fuel.
Yeah, it's a 5-speed even.
Yeah, hell yeah. Hammered around in the snow that you guys get.
Bro, don't tempt me. Don't. Like, I will play Tokyo Drift theme song everywhere I go.
There is something to be said about those swept lines. They're oh god, they're beautiful trucks.
Has anybody? I don't know if anybody's really seen my Swepty. Let me see if I got it.
Everybody needs to see Chief. It does have. I have seen Chief in person, and it's got amazing patina. I was like, ooh, I love the patina on that thing.
It's just a right amount of amazing, in my opinion. Let me see here. Just gotta dig through my wee little photos here.
But yeah, muscle cars of the Strip. It should be even crazier now that Roadkill Nights is going to be the next night. So I imagine a lot of people are just going to travel out to Vegas, have a nice weekend of cars, and then leave probably Tuesday. So it's going to be a lot of fun, man. I got the RV rented. We got a nice big luxury RV. So that'll be fun. So we're going to stay on the Strip. Which is kind of, it's funny because when you go to Vegas, you want to stay on the Strip, like in one of the hotels on the Strip, but we're staying at the track. So at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. So it'll be fun.
'Tis the Chief.
There it is. Look at that thing.
There it is.
I do have the front bumper. It's just off because the whole front end still got to come off to finish up the new rack and pinion install. But
yeah, you need to put door logos on it.
Big Block's garage, I know.
Yeah, that would be cool. Bud Mack can hook you up. He's quite the artist.
How far away is Bud from me?
He is in.
I think he lives in Missouri.
I thought it was Minnesota. I could be wrong. It's either a Minnesota or is it Iowa? Fuck, I forget.
Or maybe it is Iowa.
I think he is Iowa because he
Iowa.
said he always tells me he ventures down into Missouri to get parts.
Yeah, it's Iowa.
So I mean, again, not a horrible drive for me, but not great either. It's like,
well, what you really need for those of us that can't paint good, you just get your logo and you have the negative printed out as far as like a vinyl decal.
Yeah.
And you put your negative on the door and then you just get one shot, which is what pinstripers use for paint. And then you just slather it on. And then before it's dry, you peel off the negative of the logo. And then you have a door logo that looks like it was hand painted. And then you just patina it from there.
Yep. A little Scotch-Brite.
Yep. That's how the Mr. Norm truck was done, basically.
Well, I mean, this guy right here, Chris, who's that company you're talking about? Was it Sweet Patina?
There's Sweet Patina, yeah.
Yeah, it's thank you guys.
I have Poppy's patina stuff I was gonna send it to you, yeah.
I couldn't remember what company. It has a 360 in it. Somebody swapped in a 360. It's actually getting, let me see if my camera, I don't think my camera will reach. I switched to a smaller cord. It's gonna get, you can't see it because it's dark in here. It's gonna get that 5.7 in it. HRT stage 2 cam, CNC ported intake. It was going in my Duster, but Blake talked me into using it in Chief.
I love that it's painted blue too. That's gonna look awesome. And the red, white, and blue, dude, in Chief.
And it's got a blue tailgate now.
Dude, I like it.
So, I mean, I gotta get a bottle opener for the tailgate. I feel like it just needs a tailgate.
100%.
Or the bottle opener, I mean.
100%.
But I mean, that's my pride and joy right now. My Duster was my dream car as a kid. Like, my dad bought it for my stepbrother when I was 16, and it's just a project of love, and it's getting a lot of work.
Wait, you have a brother?
Stepbrother. It was a stepbrother.
Oh, okay. I think I vaguely remember you saying that on the listener story, but I always forget.
Yeah. Well, I'm an only child, but no, it was a stepbrother at the time.
I see.
But I mean, this truck right here, it means a lot. It's pretty special to me. So
take my advice. Don't get rid of it.
My child, as a 3-year-old, has already said it's his truck because it's old.
You know what, my daughter? This was hilarious. My daughter and I were in the garage the other day, and I said, "Do you know whose Roadrunner this is?" And she kind of gave me a look like, "I don't know what you want from me, Dad. What do you?" And I said, "This is our Roadrunner." And she, without missing a beat, she goes, "When are we going to drive it?" And I was like, "Well, now you're taking shots, and I don't appreciate it."
It has it's a 3 on the tree. It's a 3 on the tree. So, like I said, it's just cruising. I know I'm putting a lot of motor for just a cruising truck, but I will probably eventually swap it out for a 4-speed on the floor.
Dude, could you imagine one of those tall B-body pistol grips in that thing, like all patinaed out? Dude.
I want one really bad, and don't keep putting that in my head because it hurts my feelings. I can't figure it out.
What do you mean you can't figure it out?
I don't know where I'm going to track down one of those transmissions affordably.
I tell you right now, listen to me. you can get a fully rebuilt 833 for a reasonable price.
Let's talk in a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I'm with you on the patinaed out 4-shift.
Yeah. So you imagine a pistol grip belongs in a truck like Chief. You know
Bro,
what I mean?
I'm so glad you got to come to my house and see all my shit in person.
Yeah.
Like in that photo, you can see the C10 off to the side of the house looking all sad. Because I booted its ass right out of the garage and I brought Chief.
I was actually really impressed with how solid the Duster is. I was like, oh man, you don't see them this solid too often.
I know I Swiss cheese that pretty good, but I mean the rear quarters were ate up worse than I originally thought. And I have the rear quarters above my head right now to go on there. I just hit a wall and I didn't know how to do the body work.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been practicing my welding and everything, found some more tools to help with that swap. So hopefully if I can get the rear quarters and the floors on, with how solid the rest of the car is, it is full steam ahead on getting it worked down, getting body work done, and I have a lot of parts for that Duster.
Nice.
Like my garage is nothing but parts for that Duster.
Hell yeah. A fresh rebuilt 833 for $1,000. That's not bad, dude.
That's actually not bad at all.
No. Also, people forget that not only can you get fully rebuilt A33s from people like Jamie Passon, but Silver Star Transmissions also makes a really nice transmission that's basically bolt-in, from what I understand. That was my other option when I was debating on what to do. I have a connection that could possibly have gotten me a Silver Star transmission, so I was like, ooh. And I may do that in the future. I would like to get a 5-speed if I Hemi swap the Roadrunner, which may be, I don't know what I'm gonna, I don't know how I'm gonna feel with the Roadrunner with the 340 and the 4-speed and like the old school suspension and stuff. I'm probably gonna end up modernizing the car down the road, but I want to enjoy it for what it is right now. So we'll see what happens. But
I mean, I'm in. I'm always in. I think that should be like my motto, and on my shirt is I'm in.
It's just these cars are so fun, and I love the OE stuff. It just gets a little crazy, you know what I mean? And it's like, why not just have fun with your stuff? All right, Dutch is bragging.
You boot his ass out if he's gonna wreck that.
Look at that 451. Look at that.
That's beautiful. That's
look
gorgeous.
at him. Look at him bullshitting people. 400. Get out of here. That wagon is nasty, dude. Like, show some of the wood on it, Dutch. That you the vinyl that you put on it. Let's see some of that vinyl
he got
work.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where'd he
go? He said
one
second.
momento. Oh yeah, there you go.
I dig it.
On
that
Craig.
Badass.
God. 400 big block. 451 stroker.
There's something about wood paneling and Kragers.
Yeah. That interior is awesome too. Okay, the house is getting bigger.
Did Joe come in to say something mean to me about my dreams?
That was awesome, man. Crack into this thing and just hear him talking that nasty little F word he's got going on there.
Now Dutch is just bragging now. This guy. What is this, Blair Witch? What are you doing, Dutch?
He's going to be crying in the corner later like, the Fords are coming.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Hell yeah. A little small block action.
Fun fact, that is what my son's nickname is.
Small block?
Yeah.
Oh, the 43. God, those cars are cool. Wide body before wide bodies were cool. You know what I mean?
That thing is awesome.
God. Talk about rare. The Super Coupe. Oh, that thing's badass. On the 17s. I can't wait to see that thing at Mo Party just tearing it up.
Dude, it's gonna be a good time. There's always something cool running around the track at Mo Party.
Yeah.
Like, what was it that what's the Jeep that's always there with the turboed 6.1 and the Wu-Tang Clan
Oh, the
logo?
Wagoneer?
Yeah,
That thing is nasty too.
that is by far one of the nastiest things I see running around out there.
Ransom Racing. Look at that. Now, Dutch, that's not a.
Was it a Holly?
It's not one of it. He loves Edelbrocks. I'm surprised to see. What's going on, Dutch? Have you gone to the other side or what?
Just quietly covers it back up.
What is going on here? Dutch, did you actually tell? You know, Ruben has a history of blowing trannies at events.
It's going down.
What are you doing, Dutch? Oh man, Dutch is on one.
Johnny
Mopar,
get in here.
Get in the chat, Johnny. What are you doing? Let's get a full house in here. The best live chat currently going on Facebook and YouTube right now as we speak.
In the world.
So, Chris, what's going on with that car, man? You left us kind of hanging. Is this thing gonna make it, or are you gonna be?
It's gonna make it. Whether or not it's gonna be finished when it gets there is gonna be a different story. But
man, they're never finished.
No, they're never finished. However, I do have a plan B. I'll say that. If the car cannot make it for whatever reason, or I find something cooler to go, I have a plan B, but I'm not going to say too much about that because I don't want to jinx it. But the plan right now is to bring the car by hook or by crook. It's going to go. I hope to at least be able to fire it up. You know what I mean? I'm hoping the transmission. Jamie told me that as soon as he gets he's sending me a crate right now so I can throw the transmission on the crate, send it over to him, and hopefully he can get it rebuilt quick enough for me to get it back and in the car. But I'm really counting on the engine to be able to fire just because it's already been rebuilt. It's interesting, though, because I don't, I have no confirmation. The guy I got the car from is now gone. He passed away. Mm-hmm. So it's like a big mystery. And when I was looking at it, I was like, oh man, he does. And shame on me for not looking a little closer, but I was like, he doesn't even have the engine mounts bolted in this thing. It was just sitting in there. So I was like, oh shit. So now I got super paranoid and I started going through every bolt in the engine compartment, like anything that's attached to the engine. I was like, all right, let me just make sure it's all tight. So everything is solid now, but the transmission will be the biggest. I think that will be the biggest determining factor. Assuming that the engine will run, the transmission will be the determining factor. So we'll see. But I have faith. It'll be there. But I may lose the challenge because it's not running and driving. You know what I mean? So we'll see.
I'm gonna ruin plan B. It's me in a cardboard box, just dragging them around the drag strip.
I had this idea and I told Mike Coffey about it. I was like, and I really don't want to promote this, but I told him, I was like, we should do a video like outside the track, like on some Vegas street, and we should do an old-fashioned street race, the 340 CUDA 4-speed versus his Hemi CUDA 4-speed. It'll be fun. I want to see how long it takes for that CUDA to pull away from the 340. Because I know what the car, I have dyno sheets on the car, and it makes like conservatively on an engine dyno, it makes about 400 foot-pounds of torque and about 360 horsepower. So it'll be a fun little street car. It'll be a fun little street car. It's really a mild build, but it's been rebuilt. I should probably take the valve covers off just to make sure the valve train's what it said it is. But I have no reason to believe that Pete lied to me. Pete was a good guy. I just think that he set the engine in the car, and I think he knew, his time was short, and he was going to try to flip it to get a car that ran and drove, or a truck that ran and drove, so he could have something to cruise. Not that he doesn't. I mean, the guy had a collection of cars. He has the Charger Tribute, a new wide body Hellcat, 71 Charger RT with a 5.7 Hemi in it, 60 full Resto Mod 68 Charger RT. He had a lot of cool stuff. So the reason he traded it to me was kind of a mystery to me, but I was like, all right, let's do it. But now I got to figure out how I'm going to buy this truck back. So we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully, I don't even know if his son wants to sell it, but tomorrow is going to be interesting because it'll be the first time I've seen the truck in months. And I don't really want to bring it up at his dad's memorial. You know what I mean? Like, hey, you're going to sell that thing or what? But he did reach out to me to try to help him sell Pete's 71 Charger race car, which is like an 1100 horsepower stroked big block.
Holy
50 grand, dude. The car cost well over 6 figures to build.
Yeah.
It's a screaming deal, but for some reason, no one would jump on it. It was converted to fuel injection, but Pete has the original carburetors and stuff. And he's like, look, it was better carbureted. So he was in the process of swapping it over. And I don't know how far he got, but it's a badass car. It's beautiful. Like, it is a show race car. You know, those cars that you're like, does this thing even see track time? It's so nice, but it's ready. And for 50 grand, it is a steal. I wish I had the money. If I had the money, I'd buy it just to have it. You know, I don't even know what I'd do with it, but it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Well, back to carb. That's the easy swap, at least.
Yeah, he said that he wasn't that impressed with the fuel injection, but he's only ran it once, and from what I understand, it ran 9 seconds in the quarter mile, and he left the line in second gear for whatever reason. He was having issues with it. But I forget exactly what the trap speed was and stuff, but he said it ran a 9-second quarter mile, and that was just barely trying. So I was like, okay. I believe it's certified for 850s. But I guess it's just a monster. And my cousin was actually my cousin has a Scat Pack Charger that he never drives. And he saw me post about that Charger, the race car. And he wanted to buy it. He never did, but he was like interested in buying it. And he owns a concrete company, so he's got the money. And Pete was telling me, he goes, you tell your cousin that if he buys this car, no matter what parking lot he is in, he's going to have the baddest fucking car there. I was like, oh, man. And truthfully, the hater inside me was like, I hope my cousin doesn't get that car. You know what I mean? I was like, I'm going to be a little jealous about that. But we'll see what happens. So what's up, Joe?
Oh, nothing, man. Jesus. Just pulled into Nashville here, drove all freaking day from St. Louis. Gosh dang it, man. I'm from Minnesota, though. It's colder than hell there. I got my Roadrunner sitting in the garage. God dang it, man. So the 6.4 swap I'm trying to do in that is just killing me. I need to pull trigger on, oh, man, tranny decisions, everything else. It just is. It's ridiculous. I almost wish a guy would have just stuck with the 383, stuck with the 727. My God, man.
So what's the story on the car?
So my dad had a 69 Roadrunner back in the day. And so obviously just kind of, when he got rid of that, I was pretty young. And it was a dream car of mine. So then I found this 68. And I scooped it up. I stole that thing. And, knowing what I know now, I would just leave it ratty. But I ended up getting the quarters on there, trunk floor, all that in. I'm half done with the metalwork and everything. And then I decide, oh, God, I got to rest mod this thing, you know. So I go out last summer and I buy a 6.4. And it's out of a 14 Charger. So it's not an 8-speed, you know. It's the 5-speed.
Okay.
And, God dang it. But now I'm looking at that and I'm dealing with sound German engineering and all that, you know, trying to decide, do I want the 5-speed? I definitely don't want the 727. God, I should really get a Tremec, you know, is what I should do.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just ridiculous, man. These games. But if a guy would have just thrown the 383 and the 727 in there, I'd be beating the holy hell out of it and just having a heyday, you know?
Hell yeah. There's quite a few transmission choices these days with these modern Hemi swaps, so you got some options.
Absolutely.
Which is always good. Thank God they were smart enough to keep the bell housing similar enough where you can, you know,
Mhm.
you have those choices, you know, so that's always good. How long till that car's on the road?
If I can pull the trigger on anything, I'm
Yeah.
hoping by the end of the year.
Okay.
So,
Hell yeah.
okay, I ain't gonna lie. So I ain't gonna lie. I actually have a race set up with my brother-in-law. His car, thank God, isn't done either. But so he has his old man's, and I know we're gonna talk those nasty words again, but he's got his old man's 70 Mercury Cyclone spoiler edition that he's
Okay.
trying to get together. But he's leaving his ratty. I'm not leaving mine ratty.
Okay.
So, yeah, yeah. So we got a drag race in September. We're supposed to be hitting. I think it's
Oh,
just going to
man.
be engine and brakes here. So
Damn. So what takes you down to the south if you're from Minnesota?
I work out of town.
Okay.
I fix stone cutting equipment, own my own business. So I'm just
Okay.
traveling around with my boy, fixing stuff
Right
every
on.
week.
So you're in Minnesota. They got Mopars in the park up there, huh?
They do. It's pretty
Have-
badass.
You go to that?
I do. Yeah,
I hear how awesome that show is too.
it is pretty good.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I'm gonna have to make it up to that one someday soon. There's so many. I always say this. There's so many events in the country. I wish I could make it to all of them. It's just I gotta find. I finally have a position at work where I have free reign on vacation. So as long as no other manager has the day off, I can pretty much take whatever days I want. So I got most of the stuff that I need this year. Carlisle's one I probably won't make it to, although I wanted to. But Mopars in the Park is another one that I'm like, I got to make it to that show someday.
Hmm.
So we'll see what happens.
Man, I'm upset. So one of my jobs, I got coming up here. So me and the old lady, we're going on vacation in Vegas, like the
Okay.
beginning of March, right?
Okay.
And then I'm staying there for a job after that. My boy's coming in, and we got to go move this water jet and everything. And
Yeah.
I literally leave right before muscle cars at the strip.
Oh,
Oh,
shit.
man.
I know. I'm
Oh,
like
man.
trying everything I can to try to rearrange everything to make it work, man.
Oh, man. Oh, that's like a tease.
It is. It's terrible.
Oh, man. That's rough. Cowboy Guitar Guy's in the house. What's up, buddy?
Hey guys, not much, man. Just hanging out, listening to y'all, and thought I'd join in,
No, that's
contribute
awesome.
what I can. I'm mostly a Swapline guy, but I'm a Mopar fan all around. So,
Yeah, it looks like you got a little collection. Tell us about your collection.
right. So, I don't remember the context, but I saw a Swapline the first time when I was just a teenager, and I saw just the, that body line, and I fell in love with it, man. And I got one when I was in high school finally. And I still have it now. So since then, I've collected two more. One is so I have a 68 that's got a 318 and 727, just original condition.
Okay.
Probably, I don't know, 70-ish thousand miles.
Oh, wow.
Right. And then I got a 69 that has been redone pretty well, 383. And then just recently I found one that was setting up. It was a 383 with it's a D200, and it's got a 4-speed transmission, but I think I'm just going to redo the whole thing, frame off, and put a 5.7 in it and go resto mod and make a daily out of that.
Nice.
So that's my plan at the moment. So I have 3 sitting in my yard right now. So
Okay. How many run and drive that you can take out and cruise around?
2 of the 3.
How often when you're out and about do people ask you if you're going to sell it, if you want to sell it? Do you get that a lot?
Never.
Really?
Never.
God, that's so surprising. When I had the Mr. Norm truck, everybody told me how cool it was, but no one ever asked me if I wanted to sell it. And I don't know if that was because they didn't want it or if they just knew that I wouldn't sell it. I don't know.
Well, I would ask way more money than it was worth, and it would be one of those, if someone just decided they were going to write me a check for $30,000 that day, then sure. But
man, I tell you, I've been surprised at some of the stuff that I put up. Like, yeah, I'd take 30 for it, and then I find out after I trade it, like, oh yeah, I would have given you $30,000 for that truck, and I'm like, where the hell were you?
Right.
Oh
Well,
man,
it's like my Duster. When I was still driving my Duster around, I was over at my father-in-law's house, and he's got the '63 Gold Impala, and we had both of them out parked next to each other. And some dude just came walking down his driveway. And my father-in-law got all puffed up and excited because I was going to talk to him about some Impala. It's way nicer than my Duster. And the guy goes, "Is that a Duster?" He's like, "You never see these anymore." I was like, "In your face." And I actually had a couple offers on the Duster.
Really?
Yeah. I mean,
That's
it was
cool.
ratty as shit with the little 904 and a slant 6, but it was a cool looking car. They're cool looking cars.
Nice. I did. So my wife gets a lot of grocery orders that are delivered here, and I'll have the garage door open working on the Roadrunner or something. I don't know why, but I just love it when they're like, "That's a nice car," and I wait for it. Like, are you going to ask me what it is? Because I know if they say it's a nice car, then you know they don't know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, okay, I got a big Mopar flag in here. You can kind of put it together. I got a bunch of Roadrunner signs and shit, and it's the people that aren't car people that are like, "Oh, it's a nice car." But when I had the 73, the dumpster fire, somebody came to my house. It was a worker of some kind. I forget. It might have been a gutter guy or something.
Your HOA coming to give you.
No, it's definitely not those assholes. Definitely not those assholes. But I think it was the gutter cleaning guy. And I wasn't here, but my wife told me that he was just all over that car. And I was like, "Did you tell him it was for sale?" Because it wasn't at the time. But she's like, "No, why?" And I was like, "Always tell them it's for sale and see how much they'd give me for it." But, oh my gosh, we have a superstar in the house, Johnny Mopar.
Johnny.
Johnny Mopar.
What's up, guys?
Dude, I think it's been like a year since I've seen you and talked to you.
I know, right?
Dude, the 68, dude.
Dude, finally. Yeah.
So it's coming to Vegas.
It's coming. It's coming to Vegas. It's probably only going up and down a trailer into the parking spot. But yeah, it's coming.
That thing sounds nasty, dude. My God.
It is. The first recording, I was standing next to the car, right? And I'm like, this is going to be so badass. And it's like the microphone cancels out the sound because it's too loud.
Oh, yeah.
But I had the other videos, I had to put the mics like far away from the car just so that you can hear it like thump, you know.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, well, looks like he's already done. He's already won the challenge. He's got his shit running."
Well, there's still a whole bunch of stuff that needs to get done to it. I ordered it's got an M1 intake manifold, which is really tall.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have to run a tall throttle bracket, and you need to run a 6-pack throttle cable or a Hemi throttle cable because the standard Big Block won't fit. It's too short. So I'm waiting for that. So I couldn't even move the car because it's like, how do I, I don't have any throttle.
Yeah.
My buddy gave me this cable. I don't know what it came off of, but it has the ends that are like the side that goes on the carburetor. So I had to break the other end off. It's long enough, but it only has like half throw. So I can't even open up the throttle. I can only open it about halfway. But it's enough I can move the car out of its spot. So I'm stoked over that.
Oh, yeah.
And then apparently I don't think I bled the brakes or I didn't do a good job because it doesn't have any brakes. It's like going to the floor. And then I also realized it's like, well, shit, I didn't even think about it, but that intake manifold doesn't have a vacuum port. And the carburetor I have doesn't have one either. So and it's a power brake car. So I have no power brakes. And then you can't open the doors to the headlights, you know.
Oh,
that
shit.
runs off vacuum too. But I am stoked. I thought I put all new wiring in it and I thought the headlights didn't work because they weren't working. And then I was thinking, you know what? I don't think I screwed the cluster in yet. And I think it grounds through the cluster into the dash frame. Put a couple of screws in there and bam, the headlights are working. So I'm like, so stoked. Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
So,
now, Johnny,
it's got to feel good.
You've been paying attention, but I am coming to Vegas with you guys.
Yes, I've heard.
Okay, I didn't know if you were paying attention because you never said, "Hey, man, excited to finally meet you."
Sorry, Matt.
Oh man,
I'm so excited to meet you.
Now it just feels forced. So,
no, it's gonna be oh man, it's gonna be a wild party in Vegas, dude.
Yeah, it should be fun, man.
I plan on joining the sewer people below the streets. I will be their king.
Right
It's
on.
these events are the first times I've gone to Vegas where I haven't had a desire to go to the strip and party. It's like I just rather be at the track, and we're trying to get it. For those of you who are familiar with the duct tape drags, every night when the sun goes down, there's a nice bonfire, and everybody just goes and hangs around the bonfire and has drinks and stuff and just socializes. And that's what I would like to see at Muscle Cars at the Strip. Especially, it's Vegas. Why not have a nice little after party and just get everybody together hanging out? And that was, the cars and stuff are fun, but getting to meet the people and talk cars, that's a lot of fun too. So we'll see what happens. I hope this event is good. From what I understand, 15 people have signed up officially for Project Cars at the Strip. So that's 15 project cars or project vehicles that are signed up. So that's a pretty good chunk of cars. If you think about the shows that I've gone to at Muscle Cars at the Strip, like 15 is a big chunk. So I'm like, wow, those are all going to be the shitbox Olympics, as Phil likes to call it. The shitbox Olympics is coming to Vegas.
Hell yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But the Charger's going to go. The Roadrunner's going to go.
My buddy Dennis with the 69 Pro Street Charger, he's going.
Nice.
I assume Coffee's going, right?
Coffee's acting coy about it. He's like, I'll try to make it.
That mother, dude, I tell you, I told him, I was like, you got me sucked into this shit. If you don't show up, dude, I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah, he made a comment somewhere about, like, if I go. And I'm like, what? I go, dude, you started this shit. You have to go.
Yeah. God. Yeah, either he's being coy or he knows damn well that his coot is running and driving and he's going to get it there no problem, and he's just trying to keep us on the edge of our seat. I don't know.
I don't know. Mike's kind of a procrastinator. So there's a good chance it's not running yet.
Well, the guy's always buying shit and flipping. He's got other shit going on. I'm like, man.
He's like, oh, I'm busy. I got to go to the river. Get in my big boat.
Yeah, this guy. That guy. But we'll see. I'm hoping it's going to be a big turnout. If just 15, even if 15, like in my head, I was going, even if a handful of guys show up for Project Cars at the Strip, that's a win. And then when I heard it was 15, I was like, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Yeah, I'm pretty impressed. But it's like, I helped Phil decide on the pricing for it. And I was like, look, these are project car guys. We got money to spend on other shit other than going to these shows. So we got to make it cheap, dude.
Yeah.
So it's $25 for all 3 days to enter your project car. I don't know. I mean, other than like a local show, I don't know, or a free show, I don't know how cheap you can make it, because I didn't want to devalue it. But at the same time, it's like I wanted to help encourage people, like, get out to Vegas and have some fun. Your car, it's Project Cars at the Strip. It doesn't have to be nice. Just bring it.
I kind of wonder too, once we do this for the first time and people are like, oh, wow, these really are some ratty cars in here. Maybe they'll be a little more encouraged. Maybe they're putting too high of a bar in their head,
Maybe. I'm not quite sure. So Ruben hasn't registered yet, so 16. I'm not registered because I don't need to. But I think there's going to be 20 plus. That's my prediction, just in the project car stuff. And then you've got Chris Birdsong running the jalopies, the autocross. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, and he's going to bring 3 Chargers. He could. You should try to get him to park them in the project car section. We'll have 3 more cars.
Little birdie told me that. I mean, if Roadkill Nights is going to be there, I would be surprised if they didn't show up with cameras at Muscle Cars at the Strip with their friend Chris Birdsong on the autocross.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So for those fans of Roadkill, they're probably going to be there filming. I don't know I don't know what I'm allowed to say. So I'll say that.
Freiberger just did a live yesterday.
What did he say?
Somebody asked if he was going to Muscle Cars at the Strip, and he said that he's planning on going. He doesn't want to promise because there's always a chance that may not be able to show up for some reason. But his intention is to go.
That's the word that I got too, and that's why I can't say for sure he's going to be there. So
yeah.
But all signs point to them being there. I mean, they're going to be there for roadkill, so for the next day or the 20th for Dodge. So I can't imagine, unless there's some sort of conspiracy where they don't want them to be at Muscle Cars of the Strip. I don't know, but
Wrong
we'll see.
show, Chris.
It is the wrong show for the conspiracy talk, isn't it? But it's going to be fun no matter what. Like for me, like I don't have any monetary stakes in the game. I'm just going to hang out with all my friends. You know what I mean? So for me, it's a win. I'm like, all my friends are going to be there. It's going to be great. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I hope it's a success because I would love for there to be a Project Cars of the Strip too. But then again, I'm probably not going to enter Project Cars of the Strip too. So I just want to see it depending on what happens. But I don't know. It's coming quick. I'm getting anxious, and that's a problem because I have so much work left to do. So we'll see. But I was excited when I saw the Charger running and moving under its own power. I was like, oh, he did it.
Yeah, that's pretty dope.
Nice. Yeah, me too, man.
That's gotta feel good, dude.
That was fun to see. That was really fun to see, Johnny.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you, Cowboy. It's it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling. It's a big check mark. And I mean, I didn't really have any reason to doubt it because it came out of a running car. I bought it from my buddy out of his Duster. And I actually got to ride in that car, and it was stupid fast,
Nice.
So it's like I didn't really have much worry there. The transmission came out of my Roadrunner. It was running fine in the Roadrunner. So, I was just nervous about the wiring because I ripped out everything, and then put all brand new stuff in there. And that's my least favorite thing to do is wiring. Even though it's pretty much plug and play, it's not like I'm wiring my own crap, but I'm good. I'm happy.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to thankfully, I decided when I pull the dash in this Roadrunner, which I'm in the process of doing, I'm leaving as much hooked up as possible so that when I lay it on the bench, I can bring the new harness over and just my idiot, I can just go bloop, 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 bloop. That should be good. And then I just got to remember to hook up all the little BS stuff on the heater controls and stuff on the heater box, like that little stuff. I was pulling it out, like I got underneath there, yanking everything, and I'm like, hold on, we better stop here and just make sure we remember where this shit goes, because it's that little stuff that'll get you.
Well, you know what I suggest? I mean, the beauty of having a YouTube channel, and I haven't been posting a lot. I'm like way behind on videos on that car, but I have been recording everything. So it's like I'm recording it, and it comes in handy because when I ripped everything out, it was like within a day or two, I was putting all the new stuff back in. So it was pretty fresh in my memory, but there's still like, you still have questions, it's like, where the hell does this go? And then I'm going through the video and it's like, oh, okay, there it is. Okay. This wire goes to this, And there was some funky things like, the door switches for the dome light. On the original harness, it's like a push-in plug.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look like it disconnects. And I mean, it is so old. It's like I'm pulling and it's not coming apart. And I'm thinking I'm going to break it. And I'm like, what the hell? So I'm looking at the new harness and it's like, it disconnects on the new harness. So freaking go for it. And then it's like, oh yeah, okay. It is supposed to disconnect,
There's a couple of bugs like that are sketchy where you're like pulling on it like, oh, I'm going to yank this wire the hell out. I had a couple of those.
When I had some funky stuff too, because the that car, so it's got a center console, and so like there's an extra harness. So that part of the harness I left in because I didn't have a new one. I don't even know if they make it, but the center console has lights on the side, and it illuminates where the your selector is and stuff. So I was like, oh man, all those like those door switches, there's like yellow, I think it was yellow and pink wires. So it's almost like spaghetti of shit going everywhere, but I think I'm good.
Yeah, I'll feel like I won when everything's hooked up and I open the door and I go bzzz, like, all right.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah. You know what I didn't do is I didn't replace the light bulbs on I did on the dash, but not like the blinkers on the front or the side
Oh, yeah.
markers and stuff. And so I plugged everything in. It's like half the shit doesn't work because the bulbs.
Oh, man.
I got to go through and change all that stuff.
Yeah, come to think of it, I didn't even think about doing the light bulbs in the dash, but I'll probably see if I can put little LEDs in there or something to brighten it up a little bit. I still haven't the cluster has dust on. I can't even see the gauges. I haven't wiped them down yet.
Oh, wow.
But it's a factory tack car.
Okay.
So I'm hoping when I wipe that shit down, because I got underneath it to look at the wiring a little closer, because I had mentioned the reason why I decided to do a whole new wiring harness was because on the bulkhead, there was a couple terminals where I was like, that looks a little burned up. I get underneath there. Of course, somebody at some point put a aftermarket stereo in it, but the factory radio is still in its original spot. The bezel is uncut. Somebody hodgepodged another radio somewhere in the car. I don't know where, but there's a little rat's nest of wiring underneath, and it looks like some stuff was burned up. So I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
I feel good about just getting rid of that shit and
Yeah.
just having factory wiring.
Mine was pretty decent, except the main hot wire melted going through the bulkhead. And so they I don't know if they took a drill to it and they ran a wire like through it, so there's no connector.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, ah. And then the other thing too is you definitely want to get in there and do something about the amp meter. I always jump mine.
Yeah.
So I put a jumper on it. So if anybody's out there, that's usually where they burn to the ground. Those things get hot and then melt down and set your car on fire. So I always jump them. You can put them on the same connector too and just disable it. But I think somebody makes some sort of amp meter where it doesn't do that, right?
Mr. Heater Box. They when I sent my gauge cluster Mr. Heater Box, they fireproofed the amp meter. So I'll probably end up doing that with the Roadrunner too at some point.
Okay.
I'm doing aftermarket gauges on mine, so
Problem
don't have to worry about
problem eliminated.
Yeah, I don't have the voltage regulator. I don't have that ballast resistor. I don't have any of that junk. So
see, that's nice.
Yeah.
Which gauges are you going with, David?
I've got I think is it NBU or UBN, or they're digital gauges. I mean, it's the 5-gauge cluster. 5-gauge or 6-gauge? No, it's a 6-gauge cluster. Dakota Digital was just a little bit.
That's what I was wondering about. So, like, Dakota Digital is pretty prominent in my area anyway, but it's pretty expensive. But I mean, it seems pretty nice. But.
Yeah, I looked at it too, and their lead times for getting them, ordering was quite a ways out there. And I was down at Summit Racing, and they had the set on the shelf there at the outlet store for about $400, $450.
Oh, wow.
So,
Wow.
Well, okay, this will work.
That's like a third of the price or less.
Yeah. I've saved quite a bit of money at that outlet store on things. I've also bought some shit that didn't work anyway, so it's sitting on my shelf. I gotta get rid of it. So maybe I want a set of Hemi short hooker headers. I've got a set of those.
Why are you getting rid of those?
They don't work with the Hemi swap. They're actually off of a Jeep.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah, but yeah, TTI. You bought TTI.
That's what I had to do too for my Duster.
Yep, and then TTI headers. They're pretty. They look really nice.
I bought a set of Doug's headers for my Roadrunner. I don't want to talk shit, but I've bought several sets of headers from different companies, and every single one of them, I don't know, maybe I'm just expecting too much, but I'm like, God, for as much as you pay for these, I would expect cleaner welds, no fucking dents, I better see I better be able to comb my hair and see my face in these fucking things for $800. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mine has I almost wanted to send it back, but I'm like, fuck, we're too far gone now. It's
We're
got a
already into
little tiny fucking ding in it, and I'm like, and it's right on the top where you can see it. I'm pissed about it, but I'm like, fuck, it's not even worth the fight.
Were they coated or stainless?
I got ceramic coated Doug's headers.
Yeah. I got the TTI, the ceramic coated, but I didn't get the polished ones. I got
Okay.
I got the middle
the nicest
set.
set I ever got.
I got the raw ones.
The nicest set I ever got was from actually Schumacher. I got and I believe TTI makes theirs.
Yeah.
I got a set from them and they were beautiful, gorgeous.
Yeah.
So
But I also have a buddy that does Cerakote that would hook me up. So
well, there you go. So now I'm like, fuck. It was between Doug's and TTI, and for some reason I don't even remember what I was thinking. It was I was ordering parts late night, and I was like, I'll go with a set of Doug's headers because I knew I had TTIs in the past, and I was happy with them. But I kept hearing about how great Doug's headers fit, and I know that Johnny had that one issue that one time with the TTI. So I was like, everybody's saying Doug's fit great. So I got Doug's. They got here. They looked great. Then I peeled the plastic off. I was like, these look great. And then I'm looking at the welds and shit at the flange, and I'm like, God damn it. I was like, they look just like the fucking cheap hookers I got. That sounds bad. Cheap hooker headers that I got.
Yeah, exactly. Finish the sentence.
Yeah. But then I see the little crease, and I'm like, how the fuck did that happen? Well, I don't know. But I guess
is your car's power steering?
Yeah.
Okay. And how do the headers? How's the driver's side? Is it tuck in pretty nice?
I haven't installed them yet.
Oh,
because
okay.
I'm worried that the collectors are going to be pretty because there wasn't much room when I got underneath it to do the transmission because I have it lifted on jack stands. So I was like, just because I want as much room as possible when I put the transmission on, I don't want to have to deal with the collectors and stuff in my way. I was looking at it and I was like, I might be okay, but I was like, I'm not gonna start the car anytime soon anyway. So if it gets to the point where I still don't have the transmission, I'm gonna put the headers on. And I'll deal with that at another point. But for now, they're staying off until I know I'm about to start the car.
Okay.
Yeah. I also have a mini starter. I went the cheap way and I just got a Dakota mini starter or a Ram 1500 mini starter.
Yeah.
Or factory starter that's smaller than the original one. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
We put Doug's on. So the thing I hate about most small block headers is on the driver's side, they usually loop. They'll run three tubes underneath the steering link,
and then one of them goes around it.
One over the top, so you have to pop the steering link to go through the headers. And those three that go underneath the steering link that hang so low, when you're driving the car, you smash them. Yeah, they just get smashed to shit.
Yeah.
Even with a stock, and I like my cars low, but even with a stock height car, they get all smashed up. But the Doug's headers, we put on an A body, but it was a manual steering box.
Okay.
I don't think maybe they do now, but I think back then you couldn't get a power steering header for an A body without it doing that 3-tube underneath thing. But the Doug's went over the steering link and they just fit really, really nice. So if I ever do a small or an A body again, it's got to be a manual steering box and Doug headers. And I don't know about TTI small blocks on A bodies.
You have me a little paranoid now because all the ones that said, "Oh yeah, they fit great," I never dug any deeper to find out if they were power steering cars. Awesome.
I'm gonna guess that the Doug's probably don't do that. I hope they don't, but I can't stand. I hate those headers. You can see them a mile away too when they're coming up the street. It's like, really, the driver's side, those 3 tubes are just hanging way low under the car, and then the passenger side's all tucked up nice. Just looks dumb.
I hope that's not the case.
Is it all in the pitman arm? Is the pitman arm different from manual to power on A bodies?
No, it's just the manual box is so much smaller, so it gives you more room for the headers. So nobody, for the longest time, I think Well, let's see why. I don't know. I thought it had something to do with the steering box size because the power steering box is so much bigger. So I don't know if there's just not enough room where they all come together to stay on top of the steering link that they got to split them up. But that's how they get them to fit.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's like on the Hemi swap on the TTI. You have to have a Borgson unit or you have to have a manual steering power unit for that, or it will not fit.
What are you doing for steering on yours?
A Borgson.
Okay.
Again, Chief, I found a manual steering gearbox at a swap meet.
I actually got 2 manual steering boxes sitting on my shelf. If anybody needs one or 2. But yeah, I was down at Summit and they had one on their scratch and dent rack, so I picked it up.
Oh,
I'm so excited, especially the cost because they're spendy.
Yeah.
But
yeah, those Borgson units are like what, $400?
Or
they go up?
They're $600.
Oh, they went up. Ugh.
Yeah,
definitely
they're about $600, and I paid $220 for it.
Not bad. There you go. Hell
yeah, about a third. You know.
Yeah, I'm definitely glad I spent the $25 on my manual gearbox.
Yeah. You got a smoking deal.
It's I don't know why.
Fuck.
But I get lucky.
Shit. Thanks, Alex.
You wouldn't have that problem with transverse torsion bars. I'm just saying.
I get lucky too, Matt, but it doesn't save me any money on my cars.
Man, I don't know what it is, but like I just end up meeting the right person at the right time. And like, I stumbled upon a gentleman, very nice guy by the name of Rodney, from a little north of me. He ended up just being an A-body guru. And like, I've bought so many parts off of him. I'm like, hey man, you got any more of those A-body parts? And then my buddy that I bought the truck off of, once again, a little bit north of me, he had like 2 or 3 buildings, and he's like, man, just go through them. Let me know if you find anything you need. It's like 2 or 3 buildings of just Swepty parts.
Wow.
So, right. And so here's another, and I know I'm not amongst, other than Big Block, Matt, I'm not amongst Swepty people, but so are there Dutch, right on. Are there Swepty parts, or excuse me, like the QA1 front end swap? I've been seriously considering doing that on not just one, but all 3 of my trucks.
I would highly recommend, because it's made to bolt right in.
I know.
And everything.
I know.
I am trying.
But it's expensive, man.
Man, I will say this: don't buy directly from QA1. Like what I did when I bought all my QA1 parts, I actually got them cheaper off of Summit's website than QA1 direct.
Really?
So I would check out Summit or some other sites that sell them, and just see if they might have a little bit better deal. Because I got all mine. It was a substantial savings, but it was still cheaper or less expensive, I should say.
Right. And I haven't called them yet, but I was almost entertaining the thought of, so I'm in North Dakota, they are in Minnesota.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, I have 3 trucks. Not that I should or could afford to do it all 3 at once, but I thought, well, I could call and say, what would you give me a price for if I came to your place and picked up 3 sets of conversions? But either way, I mean, just to do one at the retail price is pretty insane.
It's expensive, but at the same time, I'm in the middle. What's kept me from getting my Swepty on the road is I'm in the middle of trying to clean up somebody else messing up a Crown Vic install.
Oh, yeah.
So,
right.
the Crown Vic install, the Crown Vic swap, it's not a bad idea. It really isn't.
Right.
It gets the truck down a little bit lower, like most guys want, for a cruiser and everything. But it's just you gotta know what you need to do going in, versus I just looked at the wheelbase, we're good. Because you gotta the instructions I've been reading now that I finally ordered the kit to finish mine up.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, you gotta measure from the firewall X amount out. and then measure from the front of the frame X amount in, and then you should be centered up somewhere in the middle of that. And because I even called the guy, like Ritchie Suspension, I can't say enough nice things about them. The owner himself called me when I put in my order, and he started being like, "Hey, have you started this yet?" And I was like, "Yeah, they've already started, and I'm trying to finish it up." And he goes, "Did the dipshits measure from tire to tire?" And I was like, I go, "Yeah, they sure did, sir." And he goes, "All right, I'm going to send you some pictures. Here's what you need to do. The instructions are in there. Great. I'm going to walk." And then when he's like, "I got to wait for the joint to get in." But I also ordered his steering coupler that he sells. He's like, "I got to wait for the U joint to get in so I can send you that." He
Yeah.
goes, "But I'll send you some step-by-step stuff on how to get that all done." But
Okay.
but I will say this, just for sheer headache avoidance.
Yeah.
It's probably worth the cost to do there because they're just directly made to
I
bolt
know.
right in. So
You don't have to do anything. I know.
and I wish I would have known about that before I bought a swept line that had a Crown Vic install started. But at the same time, it's a great learning experience. I love learning new things. Um, I reached out to a buddy of mine that's really good at fab work, and I was like, "Hey, I'm not asking you to do this for me, but I do need some adult supervision while I'm doing it."
Yeah.
So like if in my full honest opinion, I would do it one truck at a time and just go with QA1, and I would just look around and find because all you gotta do is go these take their part number off their website and just go to the different parts sellers and just put in that part number and it pulls it right up. That's what I did.
Well, and there's no like those Willwood brakes or whatever, like all that stuff is third party, so you could get that anywhere.
Oh yeah. So I'm kind of cheating, and I feel
Yeah.
a little bad about it 'cause I'm going to buy it all again. But I have been slowly but surely cannibalizing everything I ordered for my Duster that wasn't Duster specific. Like the AC unit I ordered for that Duster, I'm putting it in the truck so I can have AC in this truck. The disc brake kit I ordered for the 8 3/4 I was putting on that car, it's going on this truck because it has an 8 3/4 rear end. So I'm slowly but surely just absorbing everything I bought for my Duster into this truck, just because it will be the daily as I do the ground up restoration on my Duster.
Right on. Okay, so survey for those of us who are in the chat. I have a third swept line that I would like to put a 5.7 in. I'm still trying to source the engine, but I want opinions and recommendations, good things, bad things about any transmissions from 727s to modern transmissions. So ready, set, go if you have experience. Please.
Okay, so I actually talked to Cope Racing Transmissions when I was looking into doing the 5.7 swap in the Duster, which is what I bought this Hemi for. And he even broke it down. He said that he actually prefers 904s. He goes, put a built 904 behind it. They're actually a lot stronger. They're a lot stronger than a lot of people give them credit for. And they're not expensive to build. I bought the Cope kit, and it was a couple $100, and it was easy as could be. Now, granted, since I'm modern updating everything, I've decided to just put a modern transmission behind the Hemi going in it. But in all honesty, 904s are great, 727s are great. I don't think you go wrong with either one as long as you put a little bit of time and effort into them.
What are you putting on your 5.7, Matt?
Well, for right now, I'm putting the 3-speed that's in the truck already with it. I'm just going to leave that one factory. Eventually, I'll probably upgrade to something better, but for right now, just for cost, I'm just going to rock and roll.
I guess I should preface, like, I'm inclined to just use my 727, and I'm just wondering, is there any reason to to use a modern one? If I get one for cheap, great, but is there any reason to
I wouldn't
still
chase
find
it.
one?
I wouldn't chase it down.
I have one already, so
if you got a good transmission and it's its history and it's been serviced, I don't see a reason not to. Johnny, anybody else?
Well, with the modern transmissions, I believe you got to cut the tunnel and stuff.
You do have to adjust your tunnel. With that 727, it's going to be
keep a factory floor in it. Keep the 727.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing too, a lot of those modern transmissions also have electronic modules in them that need a computer to run them.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing too. So you're getting into the ECMs and all that other.
And they have their own TCM for the
Yes.
transmission.
Yep, and
So-
then you gotta have the data link between the two
Yeah.
to communicate and all that other stuff. It's like,
I would keep it simple, man.
yes.
I would keep it simple.
Like I wouldn't transmission swap unless it's a manual and you're updating from like a 3-speed to like a 4 or 5-speed, or even a 6-speed.
And I would just say, I mean, just to clarify, you're talking a small block 727, right? Because
Yes, small
'cause-
block. Yep.
So if anybody's listening to this, a 727 big
Oh,
block
yeah, that is a
will
good
not
point.
fit.
Yeah, the bell housing is for small block transmissions on the
Right,
modern
yeah, no.
Hemis.
Can I just say that's my one
small
beef
block,
with
yeah.
Mopar? Like, why? Why do we need a different bell housing for every transmission with every engine combo?
Hey man, I live in a world where can't we just have the same damn like ball hitch size, anything? I'm a cattle rancher. Nothing
Yeah.
is the same, man. We got to have like four different versions of everything.
Cowboy, you're right up my alley, man. Like, I don't know if you can see him behind me because like I'm covered up, but I got my Corriente Wade sitting back there and everything. I ran cattle operation for many years.
Did you really?
I did for a gentleman down here. I was his day-to-day guy, and then I've just been doing cars. I just recently started doing cars hardcore.
Cars are more predictable.
They're a lot more friendly than a 1,200-pound mare. I will say that.
Yeah, cows are a little tougher to deal with.
Everybody asks me, like, do you feel bad eating a cheeseburger after raising a calf? No, cows are jerks.
I feel better, man.
Oh god.
Like, I tell you right now, I've been hurt so many times by a cow, and people are like, aren't they so cute? Fuck them cows.
Yeah, I hate cattle.
They don't cooperate. And anytime you're trying to help them and they're really hurt, they don't cooperate. They try to murder you.
Jerseys don't. Jerseys are fine. Jerseys can
Don't
do
you
whatever
even start with that. Those jerseys are monsters.
That's like someone saying my kids are awesome, man. Your kids are shitty.
Look, I'll tell you right now. If it's over 3 foot tall, it's an asshole.
Is that our takeaway from this episode, that cows are assholes?
Bro,
Oh, that's funny.
I mean,
Sure.
they are. Cows are dicks. Like I will say this though, I got very lucky in the fact that our bull was so chill. And we got him because he ran away from the neighbors and they got tired of coming to get him. But he was so chill and I got so lucky. Because I would unroll bales by hand because if the tractor wouldn't start, I didn't feel like fighting it. So I would manhandle a round bale into the back of my truck and then unroll by hand. That's also why I was much more buff when my wife and I met. But there was one night, and it was about dark, and I was unrolling the bales, and we had Brangus, Sandy Catrudis, and just some straight Angus out there. And the bull was straight black Angus, and he was brand, he was massive. And I was unrolling, I felt something nudging. I thought one of the calves, because the calves are usually the ones that mess with you first. Bumped the bale, and I was like, "Move, you dumbasses!" And I pushed again, and it pushed back a lot harder. Y'all, when I talk about the pucker factor of when I finally pushed it, and the head that's the size of my torso is on the other side waiting for me, that bull gave me the bro, and it just moved on. I shit you not, that bull gave me the "What's up, man?" head nod and moved on.
That's funny.
And I was like, thank God he's so chill. You can about pet that son of a bitch. I wouldn't recommend it, but he was that chill. And this guy over here, jerseys are great. Man,
You got to remember, Matt, I grew up on an 800 cow farm. So I dealt with bulls, all that stuff. Every day,
I mean, but I mean, don't lie to people listening to this. Jerseys aren't great.
Jerseys are the best. Jerseys are freaking pet cows.
For a pet cow, I'm more of a brown Swiss guy.
You haven't had the right jersey. The only reason you have jerseys is to keep up butter fat for when you're milking.
I know. We ran, when I was working the dairy farm, we ran Holstein Jersey hybrids with a little bit of brown Swiss sprinkled in.
I had no idea I would feel so much at home in this podcast, gentlemen.
Oh man,
That's funny.
Mopars and cows. Bring it on.
Well, on the
I love a good steak. I love a good
Is it
steak.
Mopars
Yeah,
and cows or
That's why
Mopars
I'm
and
in it, man.
I mean, it's just I have worn many hats in my years.
Matt
You guys
has. I'll say that about Matt. Like I talk about something and he's like, "Yo, yeah, I was a corrections officer." I was like, "Shit."
I mean, I did do that too. Yeah.
Hey guys, I gotta take off. I'll see you later.
All right,
Good
Johnny.
night.
Good
Thanks
seeing
for
you, buddy.
joining us, buddy.
All right, man.
Johnny Mopar, ladies and
That's
gentlemen.
after noon or after midnight.
Yeah, true. Oh God, it's 12:14.
We've almost gone 2 hours, so I think it's about time to start wrapping it up. For those of you that don't, and I don't know how you cannot follow Johnny Mopar. Definitely subscribe to his YouTube channel, watch his videos, and
He puts out some informative stuff. I will say that. Like he
does.
definitely is very informative.
He does.
yeah,
I go back and look at his videos to how to put something together.
it's
And
it's a travesty. Hold on, Matt. It's a travesty to me that channels like Johnny's aren't big like your Vice Grips and your shit like that, because like there's so many good channels out there that they just don't get the traction that I think they deserve. You know what I mean?
I don't have a beef with Vice Grip. I do enjoy his stuff mainly because on his show he did a that Dodge tow truck.
Sure.
But good God, is he hard to watch when he's just like, and then today we're gonna, and I'm just like, open your goddamn mouth.
I'm
I
bi.
gotta beef with him now.
Do you?
He
What did he
stole
do?
He stole my fucking outro.
Did he?
What?
Yeah,
Shut up. No, he didn't. Did he really?
Yeah. he did. He's used it on all that Corvette build series.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I've not watched one of his YouTube videos just because I heard about him always saying sparkulator and whatnot, and they would drive me up the wall. I couldn't watch it.
Yeah, my buddy Chris at Busted Radio Garage. He sent me a thing. He's like, Vice Grip watches your stuff. I'm like, bullshit. Get out of here. He's like, no, he stole your outro. Like, you're a liar. So I watched it. He stole my outro.
Good gosh.
I gotta watch this now because I watched one video. I forget. I don't think it was a Dodge video. It was something. I was like, "How's this guy?" And this was before, like, because I'm not one of those guys that watches a lot of YouTube. I watch my friends when I have time.
Yeah.
But like the big channels, like I don't really give a shit, And I heard about this guy Vice Grip Garage, so I go and check out one of his videos. He's talking about batteries and sparkulators and shit. I was like, this guy's a fucking dork. And then I find out, and I don't have any problems with him. I was just being super judgmental that one time. And then I found out it was all an act, and I was like, I don't like that kind of shit. Like,
I mean, we did meet him at Mo Party last year.
you must have met him because I would have walked right by him because I'm not getting in. Like,
I mean, I stopped.
I don't care.
I stopped for a second and met
Did
him
you?
because he had his Hemi swapped C10 there.
Okay.
And you know me, I do enjoy a good controversy.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was just solid dude, great to talk to.
I don't have anything against
all
him.
an act, but I can't. It's an act I can't watch. It's like that Whistling Diesel dude. I can't watch Whistling Diesel.
Like if I met him, I couldn't lie to him and be like, "I'm a huge fan of your stuff." I'd be like, "Oh, you, Derek from Vice Grips Garage. Nice to meet you." Like
I am much more tolerant of Vice Grip Garage because he's from North Dakota, which is where I live. So
I mean,
Fair
that
enough,
makes
Cowboy.
sense.
he has
Fair enough.
a place
It's-
up there.
it's immediately sort of endearing because he uses a lot of phrases and things
Okay.
that are
fair enough.
Is
Where
sparkulator a thing for up there? I mean, it's
Yeah.
okay.
no, but he does use a lot of his own made up bullshit language.
I mean,
Sparkulator being part
It
of
got him talked about and it got him noticed, and now he
Yeah.
has his own show on Speed Channel.
Hey,
so
man.
obviously he did it more right than I did.
Hey, we would all be thrilled to be doing as well as he is, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, no hate at all to the guy.
No.
Like I said, I don't have a beef with him. I just can't watch his stuff when he's
Right.
sitting there being like, and then the sparkulator, and then like I only watched his Dodge tow truck video episode.
He's not my brand. He's millions of people's brand, I guess. He's just
Right.
not for me. I don't know.
I mean,
I watch
Watching his stuff now, though, he's got away from being the home garage guy. Now he's like, I'm gonna go over to my CNC machine. I'm gonna cut this bracket out. I'm like,
Well, and now it's like all the revival videos he does, there's no risk involved because they're all at his friend's house or somewhere where he has like accessible, like a lift. Like literally, it's like that was the thing that really fascinated me in the beginning was he would take a shitty old C10 or whatever it was, but he had no resources. And yeah, of course, he could have called his wife from wherever away to pick him up. But now it's like the cars are like right next to a garage where he can put them on the lift and change the tires. And I mean, it's just not interesting any longer.
No,
well,
I used to like those. So
his
Yeah.
early day
Boring.
stuff, he had to leave on a Friday and then be back Sunday, so you go to work on Monday.
Right, because he was a guy.
Right.
And now he's got like a sprawling acreage in Tennessee where he can just do whatever the fuck he wants, which more power to him, man.
Again-
more power to him.
Again,
Oh, yeah.
I can
Yeah.
say I don't like his
Good for him.
stuff because of sparkulators and whatnot, but shit, that bought him all that. So I did it wrong.
Yeah. We're all doing it wrong because we're not
Fuck.
doing that.
If I would have known, like, come on,
Yeah.
man. No, more power. Like, I'm more of an authenticity guy. So if I saw him, I couldn't say, "Hey, I'm a huge fan of you," because I'm not, because I don't watch his stuff. I've seen maybe 2 videos, and I didn't even watch them all the way through.
Do you know how
That's just me.
devastated I was to learn that Larry the Cable Guy doesn't actually talk like that?
And his name isn't Larry.
Right? Like, be you. Bill Engvall?
Yeah.
Been a Bill Engvall fan my whole life. But I dug Larry, and then they're like, "Oh no, he's not like that." And I was like, "What do you mean?"
I'm a Ron White guy. I like Ron White. I'd like
Tater salad.
to have a nice glass of whiskey with that guy.
Ron doesn't drink anymore.
No, he sobered up.
Huh?
Man. He
What?
went clean. Yeah, he went.
Yeah,
Oh, he's been microdosing mushrooms and smoking a lot of weed, so he's not clean at all. Okay, let's get one thing straight.
You don't know him.
Oh, he's sober now. No, not quite.
I mean, I can't say anything. I'm over here.
Yeah, damn. Did you? Oh, I thought that was the jar of moonshine. I was like, damn, Matt, you are a heavyweight, bro. I cannot believe you down that whole jar. Yeah, you had me for a second, Matt.
No, I put the moonshine back up. I said I didn't want to party that hard this evening.
Oh, we're gonna be drinking in Vegas. Vegas is gonna be a lot of fun.
I'm excited for Mo Party. Mo
Party's gonna be fun.
Dude,
Yeah,
I'm pumped for
it's gonna
Mo
be
Party. Mo Party's getting to be more and more of a turnout for us. We actually got out and about this past year.
Speaking of which, we need to figure out our Airbnb pretty quick.
Okay, I'll get on that this evening.
Yeah.
Who wants to roommate with us? I'm just kidding. We sleep alone. We can pillow fight, and I swear to God, if you come in my room, I'll end you.
Well, tell John on the know. So if like we're doing a hotel or whatever we're doing,
I think we've had great luck with Airbnbs over there, so I think we're just gonna keep that streak going. The Airbnb, we tried to get the same one we got last year, but it was already taken. So
There's a couple big ones that have
there
like
are a couple of big ones. I mean, like, okay, in all honesty, if some folks are going and they want to roommate with us, let us know in the chat right now, and I will look for a larger Airbnb. But if I lock one in for just Chris and I, it's done.
well, let me know. It'd just be the wife and I. So
Okay.
and tall John. So like we need big people.
Tall
Hey.
John's good people.
Hey, Scott, I'm going to tell you right now. They tried the first year. They thought about putting a haunted, spooky ass doll we found in the kitchen at random in my room. I locked the door when we left, and when I went to bed, they were upset.
Yeah, Mo Party's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited for that one too. Hopefully someday I can bring something to Mo Party. That's the one thing that kind of pisses me off about going to all these events. I really want to participate more
Well,
than
some
I
of them are
have.
so far away from you. I don't see how you would.
Yeah.
I hope
Yeah,
Holly
for
has me be a.
transport.
I want Holly to let me be a judge again. That was a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun wandering around with you, and you're like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I was
I
like,
know.
somebody's got to lose.
I know. It was tough. There was a lot of cool shit. Yeah, so
Who
we'll
ended up
see what
winning?
happens.
Oh, that Little Red Express one.
That super clean Little Red Express that the guy's had since he was 16
God, it was so clean.
and restored that thing from the ground up, and it was immaculate. I was like, all right, he's like, I drove this thing through the snow. He was just talking about how he's had it his whole life, and he's a body guy. He owns a paint and body shop, and he just restored the whole damn thing. And man, you could eat off that thing. It was so clean.
You all should have seen the disappointment in Chris's face when I was telling him not to even think about voting for the A100 van with the Superbird wing.
I wanted to give those guys some love, man. You got to have balls to do that kind of shit.
Bro,
that was a cool ride.
it was cool, but I was like, don't you even do it. Like, you got
It was
some
so
great
unique.
options over there.
And it was a real when they said that's a real Superbird wing, I was like, holy shit. I wonder what happened to the bird that it belonged to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, shit. But
I mean, it even had a fuzzy interior, so I mean, it was dope, but
it did the one reason why, and it wasn't nothing against them or anything, but I was like, how can I give it to those guys when they bought it like that? When this guy had his Little Red Express and he built that thing, after driving it for so many years, and he restored it from the ground up. It was one of the nicest Little Reds I've seen.
the only other truck I would have really liked to seen it go to was that tan D100.
No, that was second. That was a tie for second between him and there was a D100 there. It was a Util-line truck. I forget the guy's name. Forgive me. If he ever sees this, I'm so sorry. I'm forgetting your name right now. But it was a really clean truck, and from what I understand, he might be putting a Hellcat in it or something. That was a badass truck.
Are you talking about the guy that had the pistol grip in it? I think we're talking about the same truck.
No, this one was This one was like a dark gray.
Dark gray.
I know the guy has a. Shit.
Oh,
I feel bad.
I can't remember now. I remember seeing it.
I'll shout him out when I find him again.
I just want Cam to bring his LS swap duster and watch everybody about melt down again.
Yeah, that.
Oh man, it was. I have a lot of respect for Cam.
What?
That kid has taught himself how to do all this stuff, and he just does it, man. I have a lot of respect for the kid. And like when I saw him pull in, I went and hung out close by just in case somebody tried to get in his face about it, because some of those guys were pretty heated.
Yeah, that's more power to him. He snuck in, and Holly was cool enough. They're like, all right, dude, you can stay.
I mean, they did. They told him, they're like it's fine. So, I mean, when they first announced Mopar, they're like, it has to be Mopar powered.
Yeah.
And there's people pissed off when John Cope showed up with his Hemi swapped F100 drag truck.
There was a Beamer there that had a Hellcat swap in it. I was like,
Yeah.
all right, I guess I can't hate on that.
I mean,
I'd like to see that. That'd be cool. How the heck they did it?
They trimmed the hood out to where when they closed it, whatever piece was hitting just poked through. Like, it wasn't like a full hood trim. They just trimmed out where the pieces that hit would be able to come through. It was cool. It was different.
So that's that kid on YouTube that's got that Hellcat Miata that he completely went through and redid. I mean, he went through and redid everything in it.
For me, it's like
badass.
There's too many like LS swaps or so. I just want to see more stuff Hemi swapped because I think it's cool.
I mean, it's great. It's fantastic. Like I'm all down for, if it's your brand, I'm down and support you to be like, yeah, you need to swap that. Back your brand. Don't be wishy-washy. But at the same time, respect other people's decision. Don't be a dick about it. Social media has gotten folks too used to not getting hit in the mouth for saying something rude.
yeah, for sure. For sure. Yep. Dutch, when's that is that wagon gonna be at Mopar or what?
No, just a Super Coupe. Just
Okay.
a Super Coupe.
Fair enough. I can't wait to see that thing in action.
Dutch,
dude.
if you can figure it out for real, I'll let you know beforehand if I'm bringing Chief. But if I got Chief there, bring those engines. I'll figure it out.
Oh, like I said, they're taking up engine stands right now. So I put them on the, well, you know how cheap front wheel drive guys are. Like,
yeah.
You post a fully rebuilt motor with like they got brand new heads. Like they have brand new Mopar heads on them because the 2.2 and 2.5 heads all warp and crack.
Yeah.
Between the valves. They each have a brand new head on them. I put those for $250. Come pick them up.
Wow.
You take $100.
Wow. You're shitting me.
No. Or it's I wish you were closer. I'm like, it's $250. Like, it fits on a Fastenal pallet.
Yeah.
Like, give me $50 to drive to the city and I'll drop it off for you. Nope. No.
Have you shipped through Fastenal?
Yes, absolutely. Awesome.
Tell us the process, because I don't think a lot of people, including myself, know.
Okay, so not all Fastenals know about it, but it's called third-party shipping.
Okay.
So you basically have to get the manager and tell them what you want to do, but you can set it all up online, and as long as everything fits on a pallet, they will ship it for you.
Nice.
And so you normally what I do is I set it all up online, and then I'll go there, and it'll take like 20 minutes because nobody knows what the hell you're talking about. And then you get the manager, and he'll figure it out. He'll bring you the pallet, you put everything on there, and they saran wrap it. And it's so cheap. I shipped 2 727s from Kansas, or from me to Kansas, for like $45.
Holy shit.
I shipped 4 15x10s on Hoosier drag slicks. The guy deflated them from Houston, Texas to me for $80.
Oh man.
Is it a flat rate that they go off of, or is it by weight?
No,
rate.
it's just a pallet charge.
Pallet charge. Where are you at, Dutch?
I'm in I'm in central Michigan.
Okay. Yeah, I deal with a lot of the same. So I own my own ranch and thereby my own business. So I have my own business address, and I have a Bobcat I can unload things with. So I have no, like, if you have a stipulation on a shipping charge, you cannot ship to a residential address, but you can ship to a business address, but you must have a pallet fork or something. So I can always accommodate that. But yeah, that's the thing. People don't realize, if you can just, whatever can fit on a pallet, that's all they care about.
Wow.
It has to just get on a pallet. You lift the pallet up there, you stick it in the truck somewhere, and that's it.
That's crazy.
Damn.
Yeah. And normally you pick it up at the store, so you don't even have to, like, it just Fastenal to Fastenal shipping. So you just go there and you pick up your package. They'll load it in the back of your truck because they got a forklift. And
Damn.
I more than often. So I live literally in the middle of nowhere, guys. So I'll have a semi. It'll pull into my yard, and then I get my Bobcat and just get under the pallet and lift whatever it is.
Wow.
Or rear end and engine, whatever it is. Just get it off the truck, get it on the ground, and then from there, whatever I have to do.
Where at North Dakota do you live?
Right. So I am about the closest big city is Cooperstown. So I am in eastern North Dakota.
Okay. All right. I worked up there. I was up in the oil fields.
Oh, that'd be out west. Sure.
Yeah, I was at west. Yeah, Minot, Watford City. Actually, that's where I lived.
Watford City would be about 4 hours from where I live.
Okay.
I feel like since we're sharing, I'm in Northwest Arkansas. I'm like, right
yeah,
there.
and Matt, I Big Block. I used to. So given my hat,
look at that.
I went to school in Norman, and I lived in Norman, Oklahoma for most of my life. And I've lived in Texas for a lot of my life as well, I guess. But here in my adult life, I'm in North Dakota, where it's really fucking cold all the time.
Yeah, I spent 2 winters up there.
Yeah, I got like Missouri, Kansas, and Oklahoma all within like 30 minutes of me.
Yeah,
where I'm at.
Exactly.
I'm in the land of Walmart.
Yes, you are.
Shit, we were that close to Kansas? I didn't know that. I guess I didn't pay that close attention.
Well, I mean, I didn't include it on the tour when you flew in, but
Kansas is
You mean
open,
we could have
eh?
gone to Kansas, man?
Let me say this though, that trip, the road trip from Bentonville to Bowling Green, although it was 10 hours, man, I guess it just depends on the company you have, because it did not seem like we were in the car for 10 hours.
I did almost kill us one time. But I mean,
Hey, you remained calm. That's not the first time I've almost died in a car with a friend driving. And I was thinking about that. I was like, one of these days I'm not going to be so lucky.
well, I mean, shit, I cracked myself up so bad. My eyes shut from laughing because I got these squinty little fucking eyes. But no, Chris flew in, and I gave him a quick tour of Bentonville, and then I was like, all right, let's go, and we headed out. But I mean, I showed him Walmart headquarters. People are always so disappointed when they see Walmart headquarters. It's a 3-story brick building. Fortune 1 company in the world, and it's a 3-story brick building.
Well, we're driving through that city or town, whatever you want to call Bentonville. And I was looking at the streets and I was like, damn, it's so clean here. And Matt was kind of like, it's not this clean where you're at. And I'm like, dude, there's heroin needles in the streets where I'm from, dude. Seattle sucks.
Man, Bentonville's great.
Yeah.
I love Arkansas. Like you'd have a hard time. You'd have to grenade me out of Arkansas, to be completely honest. Tennessee is close to luring me away. I do like the mountains over in Tennessee.
I like Tennessee. Tennessee's cool.
I flew my buddy in last year for our wedding. He's from Boston.
Yeah.
And he came out. He'd never been to the Midwest at all. And he came out and we're driving around. I'm showing him everything. He flew into the big city, which the big city is Grand Rapids. So it's got a population of 15,000. And we get out to where I live and he's like, so who owns all this land? I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, who owns that land? I'm like, I don't know. The average around Boston, the Boston area, the average like house, like if you're rich, you have 3/4 of an acre.
Wow. Jesus.
So he comes to my house. We have 10, and he's like, his eyes are huge, and he never. Yeah, his mind was blown. His mind was absolutely blown.
I mean, there was one place just down the road from me that came up for sale, and they weren't selling all of it, just part of it. And keep in mind, I'm saying a part of it. They had 1,700 acres up for sale.
Wow.
And my wife was like, what was this? I was like, probably one of the biggest cattle operations in Northwest Arkansas. But I mean, you get these guys that they age out and just can't do it anymore. Their kids don't want to do it. They watch their parents struggle their whole life. They don't want to do it anymore. And I mean, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, then you get them that you can't even get them to sell you an acre because they're holding out for developers to pay them outrageous.
Yeah.
Our big problem right now is consumers. Consumers is going around, and which is like the energy company. I don't know if you guys have the same thing out there, but they're the electric company. They're going around and buying dairy farms right now, all through the area, and making solar farms. And not like small farms either. Like we had one farm, they milked 3,000. They had a 50-cow rotary and everything, and they had 3 locations.
Yeah.
Bought all their land to make a solar farm.
Man, it's dangerous because do you guys know who the largest private landowner in the United States is?
Bill Gates.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Gates, and who's the second one?
Who?
China.
Wow.
Texas is working on passing a law to where China or any of their constituents, is the nice way to put it, can no longer buy land in Texas.
Cannot own land at all.
Yep.
So, something that's changed, though, fellas. This is totally unrelated to cars, but since we're going this way, with the
Chris and I host a
conversation-
conspiracy theory podcast as well.
I know. I listen to it. I do. I listen to it. So I'm up here in the middle of nowhere, and I have quite a bit of land myself, but it's getting so expensive to just buy fuel and buy mechanical parts for like all of my equipment, guys. I have like John Deere's from the 1980s, and I can repair all that shit. That's fine. Right. Yeah. Thank you, Dutch. So that's all great, but it's like every year the cost to repair goes up and up and up, and the cost of everything, fuel, literally everything, insurance, it's like it's to such a point where how am I going to survive as a small business? But it's more important than that. It's like we're not just a small business, those of us who raise cattle, but it's like if people aren't producing food,
Right.
then who's going to do it? So if I quit, then who's going to take over the land to raise food for us?
Correct.
And can we depend on them? And I mean, there's like a lot of things to consider in just even in my relatively small operation. I run like 1,200 acres or so, maybe a little better than that.
Wow.
So that seems like a lot of land until you consider it affects you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's
Sure.
it sounds like a lot, but like in Oklahoma, you need 400
Yeah.
acres to run even a moderate herd because the grass quality sucks.
The grass quality in Oklahoma is terrible. I lived there for most of my life.
Yeah.
I lived in Norman for many years. And now I'm in North Dakota, where half the year it's okay, and the rest of the year it's a fucking ice storm.
Yeah, I mean winter comes early for you guys and stays late.
Like October.
All right, so I'll just say this because we're on the topic, but I'm a dairy technician. I service dairy farms. We service the whole state of Michigan. What scares me the most about all the small farms selling out is our milk quality, because with the mass production farms they're wanting to pump out 3,500 cows a day. They don't care about qualities. Their premiums are so far down.
Yeah,
That scares me for the future, because you think of milk, you want good milk, and seeing the milking quality and the policies that these they're factory farms is what they are, that those guys are putting out is absolutely disgusting.
Yep.
And for us to intake that as humans, some of it scares me. I could show you stuff and you would never want to drink milk again.
Show me.
you don't want to.
I could show you stuff that would make you never want to eat beef again, but I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
I can tell you right now, nothing would ever take that rage out of me.
Well, it's the thumb of Michigan is horrible for factory farms.
Yeah,
Especially outsourced factory farms. We service 6 dairy farms. Each one of them, it's a 6-chain farm. Each one of them, minimum, they milk 3,000 cows on each farm. It's owned by one guy. He's Irish. He comes and visits once a year. No one speaks English on the farm. You'd be lucky if they have a green card. And all they care about is quantity. They care nothing about quality. Their premiums are dog. They're absolute dog shit.
Wow.
And you go through there, they're running behind like an hour. The milker never cleaned a teat, never iodine anything. He just straight as soon as the cow walks in the parlor, milker goes on. And you drink that shit. And
That's
Man.
that's where you're wrong. I don't drink milk.
I like milk.
But then you go to the small farms that milk 400 cows.
Every cow gets a teat scrubbed and cleaned up.
You
and
know,
they get milked with love.
Yeah, but I'm telling you I don't have a dairy operation, but I'm just telling you from a beef operation, I run about 160 beef cattle on my operation, and I'm getting to a point where I can't afford to run my operation anymore because the fuel costs, the repair costs, all of that is becoming so great that I would love to. My friends called me like 2020. They're calling me saying, "Hey, do you have any chicken eggs? Do you have any beef? Is it ready right now?" You know?
But I guarantee your herd genetics are better than a factory farm, though.
I know they are, but that doesn't matter until it does, right?
So I mean, when 2020 hit and everything, and the meat shortage was on the horizon and everything, uh, I have several friends that were still in doing beef cattle and everything. I had since gotten out of it. Like, um, my guy, he moved and everything else, so I didn't move on to another farm. But the butchers here got so booked out to come butcher cattle so you could sell your meat. They're still catching up from their 2020 bookings.
Wow.
They got well, I mean, it's butchering, and a quality butcher and quality butchering is also a dying art and is a dying trade. And so I mean, you got maybe two or three guys for a tri-state area that do quality work. Of course, they're instantly all the way booked out.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
And
Fun
you
fact,
start
though.
to realize like
Oh.
that's like a, you get used to the fact you can just drive to the store and just buy some meat, and it's no big deal. You get a couple of pounds of ground beef. I can go to the store any day of the week and get that. And 2020 taught us like maybe that's not the case. So they had all of those things where they had the illnesses in, take out all the workers to where they couldn't produce beef, and suddenly we're left with nothing, and beef products are off the charts. Those of us who have cattle in the yard, they still eat the same amount of feed, they still shit the same amount of shit, they still drink the same amount of water, and it's really frustrating because
And didn't one of the largest butcher factories, meat factories, burn down, or something
well,
like that?
yeah, that's I can't remember for sure, man. But
We're getting too far into the conspiracy show. I'm sorry. I was like, the plot thickens.
Yes, let me come on the next show. Yeah, but but just the sheer fact that you're trying to regulate the amount of beef that is killed, processed, and sold, and that is, just think about, like, in my position, I have hundreds of live animals, and so you're telling me that there's no demand for them. Well, then I'm going to just continue to feed them at my expense. So when I sell them, it's going to be at the same price that the market dictates.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
The fact
Whereas-
that they try to say that the futures, and the problem is you got the same jackasses that control everything, controlling futures, which affects the market from the ground up. And of course, they're trying to drive the market up. So they're like, "Oh no, the futures look poor for corn
Right.
or for something else," and it
Right.
just throws the whole market into disarray, and they control everything.
Right. So futures are a really frustrating thing because, I mean, the reality is no matter what if you're talking about any stock, like the future is whatever. You can subscribe to whomever you think is the best prognosticator of your future investor. That's cool. But I, as the producer, know that I have live animals, and each one of them is worth thousands of dollars. And at any point, one of them could die, and I will lose thousands of dollars based on how many of them die. I can project how many might die. I can project how many might birth. I can project all of those things. But at the end of the day, like, to actually try and be a profitable beef business,
It's hard, man.
It's pretty damn tough. But
Wow.
but on the other side of the coin of that, you get to talk to your friends who maybe I don't know, man, if you have similar experience, but you get to supply your friends with beef, and that's pretty cool. So
I do. I have some buddies that shifted to where they went back to the family farm, and they now sell milk by the bottle, and they sell their beef by the pound, and they support themselves that way instead of dealing with futures and stuff like that. Because one great thing has come out of this country, and that is hipsters and people that do not understand how antibiotics work. and Dutch and Cowboy get that reference because it is illegal to take an animal to auction that has just been medicated
Yeah.
with antibiotics. You can't sell an animal that has antibiotics in its system. And people
Yeah.
are like, has this been doctored? I swear to God, if I grow a third arm, I'm going to be pissed.
I got one. So
Go
like
Dutch.
3 months or like 3 months ago, 4 months ago, this guy, he milks 40 cows. He wanted to quit bucket milking, and we went in there and put it in a 6-row parlor for him. And he couldn't foot the bill for the rest of the parlor, yada yada. Sketchy guy. Well, a month later, milkman won't haul his milk no more because he can't pass his milk inspection. Well, my wife, she sees the thing like a week later. His wife is selling the milk as pasteurized milk on Facebook for $3 a half gallon. And these hippie people are going freaking nuts about it because it's home brewed, supposed to be the greatest thing in the world. It's illegal as shit.
Wow.
Yeah,
Buying milk off Facebook Marketplace?
Oh, and everyone.
Bro,
They
the general public do not understand anything about where their food comes from.
Oh,
Chris,
this was
I'll milk one of my cows. You give me $5 a gallon right now. There we go.
Wow.
The crazy part is you can almost convince them to pay you for the right to come milk the cow for you.
There's people that do that over here.
Wow.
But I mean, I will say this: there's nothing more marvelous than an old dairy farmer or even a beef farmer that's had their herd for a while. Bro, I was helping milk cows, and I'd be in the milk barn, and they'd be walking cows in, and he'd be like, "All right, this one has a bad bag on the back right, and so don't hook up to that one. Put the stopper in. This one has a bad bag on her front left. Don't put a stopper there, and don't hook up." And I didn't even know they could get bad bags. And what that is, and Dutch, correct me if I'm wrong, this has been many moons. It's been almost 20 years. But what it is if a dairy cow runs, it can bruise the bag, and the bag will produce sour milk. That is why dairy farmers do their damnedest to make sure they have happy cows. Because happy cows don't feel like running and bruising their bag. They just meander along, eating and shitting and making more dairy cows.
Well, here's another random cow fact. Cows actually have smaller lungs than goats.
There's also that. I didn't even know that one, but yeah.
I went to calf school. And that's why when cows get pneumonia, it's a very serious ordeal because it's a 2,500-pound animal with lungs that are this small.
A half an hour ago, we were talking about Mopars. We're talking about hippies buying milk on Facebook Marketplace.
You know what?
I didn't mean to upset the boat, fellas.
No, this is.
Oh no, you didn't. I was the one that started it.
Hey,
funny.
383s,
A3s,
318s.
But
whatever.
Chris, I have further confirmed that you can just drop me anywhere, and I will find a way.
Oh yes. No, I was sitting here laughing, going, "How am I gonna?" So when I turn this into audio, I'm gonna have to be like, "All right, guys." So at about 2 hours,
we went off the rails.
Get your fucking cookies because we're gonna be talking about some milk on the Mopar podcast. No, that's funny. No, I like it.
You guys ever hear that time I went to the lake with Whistling Diesel?
Oh God, no, Dutch, no, we don't want to hear that.
In Tennessee, one he got in trouble on.
That guy. That's another one of those channels.
Don't even talk about him. Nope, that's how he gets viewers, and that's how he's still doing his shit. Don't even talk about him.
He actually doesn't have that much stuff on anymore like he did before.
Because he's doing shit that got him in trouble all the time.
He's so rich, he doesn't have to worry about it
Did
anymore.
you guys see the Upchurch thing this week?
Mm-mm.
Okay, all right, never mind. I don't know if you follow him.
Don't get me dragged in. No, I don't follow him.
There's like baby mama drama. It's hilarious, but it's actually with his mom.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man.
That's weird. Anyway,
All right. Well, I think
That's
this
some
is
Arkansas shit.
this is a good note to end on. So it was a fun show, and we had some new guests, some people we haven't seen in a minute. The chat was fun, and I don't know. I think I'm ready to call it a night. What about you guys?
I mean, I could call it. It's 1 a.m. where I'm at.
All right, guys.
Yep.
This was a Swapcast of Talking Mopars in Big Block's Garage. So you can find the episode on either Talking Mopars or on Big Block's Garage.
10-4.
And I might cut my episode off at about 2 hours and go, all right, if you want to hear the extended version, the ultra homogenized, fucking pasteurized version, here we go. The 2% fucking whole fat, whatever.
I mean, I'm gonna be fair. I'm gonna be
Grade
fair.
A top choice.
We might cut the cow part. I mean,
No, I'm just kidding. I'm leaving that shit.
it's great
This is
conversation, though. I'm super glad Cowboy got on tonight.
I like it. It was fun.
Well, for TP, you know, there might be some dairy industry opportunities there.
There might be.
Well, hey, most importantly, I am a huge Mopar guy, and I'm a fan. Been listening. Got actual time to hang out for a minute.
Hell yeah, that was awesome. Thanks for joining us for
It's
the
always a
first
good
time
time.
ever on the show. And David's been back. He's been gone for a while, and Dutch slides in every chance he gets.
Next time, I'm just gonna do the show how Dutch started the show. Just walk around, point at things, just be like, and then I got this.
One minute. Look at
I don't
this.
have as much cool shit, but I'll show off my brake pads and stuff.
Well, I have the garage is all metal, so I have really bad reception. So you guys were coming through like robots, like man. So I'm just I didn't even want to try and do audio.
Talking Mopar.
Talking Mopars.
I dig it.
Oh,
What'd you guys do on Saturday night? Well, I started listening to this show about cars, and then next thing I know, we're talking about conspiracies in the beef and milk industry. Like,
man, that's so funny. I love it.
Well, Chris probably doesn't know that they genetically embryo cows.
oh yeah, he probably doesn't.
No, I don't. I was gonna ask you, is there really an egg shortage, or is that all bullshit? And I was like, let's not open that can of fucking worms right now.
Well, fun fact: the farm, half mile from my house, produces a quarter of all of the USA's eggs.
Really?
Yep.
Also, fun fact: I house Tyson and Simmons in Northwest Arkansas.
Can you get me like dino nuggies or what?
Bro, I got you.
Wow. Well, on that note, thanks for watching the Swapcast with Big Block's Garage and Talking Mopars. We'll see you next time.
All right.
See y'all later.
No Mopar left behind.
Nope.